Reborn as a lion, everything begins with self-discipline. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101, Siren and Giant Serpent. You can take it away for only 10,000 contribution points, Chenmo said to Bing calmly. Anyway, the fangling Wutong leaf is of little use to him, so why not let a little Bing make more contributions to the Ice Lion Kingdom? Hearing this sky-high price, Bink's face fell instantly. You know, it took it a long time to get 5,000 contribution points before, and it took the opportunity of the war in the south to get it roughly. As a result, this piece of fangling Wutong leaf requires 10,000 contribution points, which will take a long time to get. But the fangling Wutong leaf is too valuable to it will never give up. Damn, it was caught by the Ice Lion King. Your Majesty, can it be cheaper? Bink began to bargain. Chenmo shook his head. He was sure that the fangling Wutong leaf was a fatal attraction to Bink, and this was his trophy of fishing, with additional attribute value. Chew, okay, the ice bird reluctantly glanced at fangling Wutong again, and then flew away with high morale, obviously going to fight for contribution points. It was ready to lead its newly conquered followers to other areas to recruit more brothers for the Ice Lion Kingdom. Seeing the ice birds full of energy, Chenmo's eyes were full of relief. It is really a chosen working bird, Indian Ocean. Unlike the African continent, which is about to be radiated into an ice age by the Great Snow Mountain, the ocean still maintains warm weather. More than 200 meters deep in the water, a giant squid with a black body and a body length of more than 50 meters is moving quickly in the deep sea. It unabashedly releases its violent and evil breath. Obviously, this is a black abyss creature. At this moment, it burst out at the fastest speed, as if it was fleeing. There are countless blood marks on the body of the black abyss squid, and black blood flows out, dyeing the seawater in the area of several hundred meters around it into a strange black color. Behind it, there are hundreds of humans with lake blue hair. If you look closely, you can see that these humans have no legs, and their hind legs are fish tails covered with blue scales. Mermaids, or sirens. The sirens hold bows and arrows in their hands, and the water spirit power on the bows and arrows gathers into arrows, which are constantly shot at the black abyss squid. They are chasing this black abyss squid. And beside them, there are all kinds of extraordinary creatures. Extraordinary sea fish, dolphins, shrimps, crabs, killer whales. Under the command of the sirens, these extraordinary creatures launched rounds of attacks on the black abyss squid in an orderly manner. The black abyss squid released the Lord's pressure, and its 8 tentacles kept rolling towards the surrounding sea fish and shrimps, swallowing them crazily and then quickly diving into the deep sea, trying to get rid of the pursuers. At this time, the Lord's pressure also broke out from the leading siren, competing with the black abyss squid. The spirit pattern on her forehead flickered, and in front of her was a trident completely condensed by water. It was obviously a powerful spell. The moment the trident took shape, it burst out at supersonic speed and slashed at the black squid. It was not hindered at all in the water. Boom! The 8 tentacles of the black squid wanted to grab the trident, but it underestimated the power of the trident, and one of its tentacles was directly cut off. Then it pierced through 3 of its tentacles in succession, and was finally blocked by it. Roar! It seemed to be enraged by the trident, and the black squid entered a violent state. It no longer ran away, but turned around suddenly and attacked the sirens and other extraordinary creatures. The remaining 7 tentacles grabbed the nearby extraordinary creatures. Run! At the command of the sirens leader, all the sirens and extraordinary creatures quickly fled in all directions. Their advantage lies in long-range attacks, which can be consumed by continuous long-range consumption. Because the sirens dodged in time, the tentacles of the black squid all missed. Roar! The black abyss squid made a helpless and furious sound. While it was pulling away from the sea monsters, it burst out with amazing speed again and tried to escape. At this moment, 2 dazzling golden lights suddenly lit up in the dark deep sea, like 2 dazzling golden suns. The golden sun slowly approached, and under the shining of its light, a huge beast could be vaguely seen. It was a giant snake, covered with huge red scales. Under the shining of the golden sun, these red scales actually exuded a charming metallic luster. The huge body of the giant snake swam quickly in the deep sea. But unlike ordinary giant snakes, it had countless thick tentacles on its neck, and the two dazzling golden suns were its golden eyes. The moment the black abyss squid saw the giant snake, it was as if it had encountered a natural enemy, and its whole body trembled. It wanted to escape, but its body froze in place. The next second, more than a dozen light blue runes appeared on the scales on the giant snake's forehead, and then it spit out a giant water column with a diameter of more than 10 meters from its mouth. Whoosh! The water column blasted towards the black abyss squid like a laser cannon, at an extremely fast speed. Boom! The moment the water column touched the black abyss squid, it pierced through the black abyss squid's head like a laser, leaving a 10-meter hole. The three hearts of the black abyss squid were also completely shattered by the water column in an instant. Water Dragon Cannon. With just one strike, this mid-level black abyss squid completely lost its breath of life, and black blood continued to flow out of the huge hole in the center of its main body. Like a ball of ink dripping into clear water, it quickly spread to the surrounding sea area. The black blood of the black abyss squid is highly corrosive, which is also an important reason why the leader of the sea monsters did not let the sea monsters get close. Seeing this, the giant snake spit out a dark blue dragon ball from its mouth. The dragon ball flew to the place where the black abyss squid died, and it quickly absorbed the black abyss breath like ink. In the blink of an eye, the black, turbid and corroded seawater became clear again. The body of the black abyss squid also returned to its normal purple-red color. Then, the giant snake opened its bloody mouth and swallowed all the flesh and blood. Lord Poseidon! You are here, the leader of the sea monsters shouted respectfully to the giant snake. After the giant snake appeared, she and all the extraordinary creatures knelt on the ground in unison. No need to be polite, the giant snake said calmly. Lord Poseidon, I didn't expect that the black abyss sea beast would appear here. The leader of the sea monsters emitted some special sound waves to communicate with the giant snake. Normal. The black abyss is expanding faster and faster, more and more extraordinary creatures are infected by the black abyss, and some of them will always run to other seas. I will kill them when I meet them. They can become nutrients for my growth. The giant snake's tone was cold, and then it spoke to the siren leader. The seawater temperature here has dropped a lot. In addition, I also feel a weak ice spiritual power. In the south, there may be an ancient secret realm related to ice. Siren, take your people over there to take a look. If you really find an ancient secret realm, don't act rashly, come back and tell me first. Chapter 102, Return to the West Sea. Yes, Lord Poseidon, the leader of the sea monsters, Siren, said respectfully. Only by finding other ancient secret realms and obtaining the third-level divine medicine can we return to Giksu. After saying that, the giant snake, which was 100 meters long, slowly closed its golden eyes, and its huge body slowly disappeared into the dark sea water. The giant snake was born in an ancient secret realm in the deep sea Zahegiksu. When the Zahegiksu secret realm descended on this world, it was just an egg. It was irrigated by spiritual energy and then broke out of the shell. Because it is the offspring of the gods believed by all creatures in the secret realm, races such as sea monsters and unicorn dolphins not only actively submit to it, but also collect a lot of divine medicine for it. With its own talent and sufficient resources, in just half a year, the giant snake has grown to the peak of the Lord realm. Unfortunately, the concentration of spiritual energy in the secret realm is not enough to give birth to the third-level divine medicine. It will take about another half a year. If nothing unexpected happened, the giant snake would definitely stay in Giksu, waiting for the birth of the third-level divine medicine. But 2 months ago, the black abyss suddenly descended. A black abyss one-horned giant python led countless black abyss creatures in an attempt to invade their territory. A fierce battle broke out between the giant snake and the black abyss one-horned giant python. In the end, although it briefly repelled the black abyss one-horned giant python, the pollution of black water is an irreversible process. Many Giksu sea creatures were eroded by the black abyss and gradually lost their minds. As a last resort, the giant snake had to migrate with the surviving creatures in Giksu. Now only by obtaining the third-level magic medicine can it advance to the king realm, so as to completely defeat the black abyss one-horned giant python and return to Giksu. After the giant snake left, the leader of the sea monsters, Siren, emitted a special frequency to gather the sea monsters around him. Spirit Pig Tribe, you search along these 3 directions where the seawater temperature is getting lower. The leader of the sea monsters gave an order to one of the sea monster tribes. Almost all the sea monsters in the Spirit Pig Tribe have tamed a unicorn dolphin. This extraordinary creature is extremely fast in the sea and can run hundreds of kilometers per hour, which is very suitable for completing reconnaissance missions. Other tribes, follow me to search in these two directions. Lying flat. Lion Day 5. Frost Crane City. In the calm harbor, a warship stood quietly. This warship from Dwangsha was not damaged, and there were personnel on it to maintain its basic operation. Above the warship, a frost crane with white wings quickly flew over, making bursts of sonic booms. It was the leader of the frost crane. It has been nearly a week since the Ice Lion King left. These days, it and its tribesmen patrol along the coastline every day. The leader of the frost crane did not dare to neglect or despise the task assigned by the Ice Lion King. When it flew hundreds of kilometers away from the coast, suddenly there were other creatures swimming quickly on the sea surface in the distance, drawing 5 white lines on the sea surface. The leader of the frost crane flew a little closer. Then it saw 5 unicorn dolphins. And on their backs, there was a humanoid creature. Is this a mermaid? At this moment, these unicorn dolphins are rushing towards the direction where it is now at a very fast speed. The target is likely to be Frost Crane City. Instantly, the Frost Crane leader thought of the Ice Lion King's instructions before he left. Next, the extraordinary creatures from the Deep Sea Kingdom may land in Frost Crane City and the nearby coastline. Once these extraordinary creatures are discovered, report to it immediately. The small team in front of us is likely to be the reconnaissance team sent by the Deep Sea Kingdom. Your Majesty must be informed of this news as soon as possible. In addition, this reconnaissance team must not be allowed to return alive. The two thoughts instantly occurred to the Frost Crane leader. So it immediately turned around and quickly returned to Frost Crane City to prepare to call for help. It did not have absolute confidence that it could kill or capture the 5 unicorn dolphins and the mermaids on them at the same time. After returning to Frost Crane City, the Frost Crane leader let out a sharp crane cry. As a result, the Frost Cranes and other extraordinary creatures that were originally busy in various places in Frost Crane City quickly gathered. The Frost Crane leader is the mayor of Frost Crane City and has great power. Whoosh! After assembling the troops, more than a dozen Frost Cranes burst out at an astonishing speed, and flew quickly towards the direction of the mermaids like fighter planes. On their backs, there was a small school bag, which was the tactical backpack designed by the Ice Lion King for humans. Various tactical spiritual plants were placed in the backpack. Soon, the leader of the Frost Cranes led his men back to the sea where the mermaids were. They swooped down from the sky quickly, holding ice mushrooms and ice apples in their claws. When the two were only 100 meters apart, the Frost Cranes released their claws at the same time. The sirens and unicorn dolphins did not think of escaping when they saw the strange mushrooms, but instead condensed the water flow and launched an attack. The sirens wanted to explode these strange fruits in the air, but the result was naturally detonated in advance. Bang! Bang! As the ice-blue mushrooms and apple-like fruits fell into the water, the huge impact caused them to explode instantly. In an instant, the nearby sea was shrouded in countless dazzling white lights. In the blink of an eye, all the mermaids were blinded. They realized that they were under an organized attack. So their legs quickly transformed into fishtails, and they subconsciously wanted to dive to the bottom of the sea. However, they soon lost control of their bodies and began to laugh wildly. These blue apple-like fruits are a new mutant fruit cultivated by the Ice Lion King, Laughing Ice Fruit, a mutant variety of frost pattern ice fruit. The fruit is filled with laughing powder, which will make most creatures laugh wildly after being inhaled. Hey, because of the uncontrollable laughter, the mermaids' tails trembled and they could not escape immediately. The Frost Crane leader has already taken the lead in launching a new round of attacks with the Frost Crane troops. Frozen gas, after accepting the enfeoffment from the Ice Lion King, although he is not in the Great Snow Mountain area. The extraordinary level of the Frost Crane leader can still be maintained at the extraordinary limit. In addition, more than a dozen Frost Cranes released freezing gas at the same time. In the blink of an eye, the seawater in the area near the mermaids was frozen into ice. The 5 mermaids who were still laughing wildly and their mounts, the horned dolphins, were all frozen in the seawater. There was no Lord-level person in this mermaid reconnaissance team. The strongest was only a high-level extraordinary. Almost in an instant, the 5 mermaids and their mounts all lost their ability to resist. This is the tactic. Then, the leader of the Frost Crane jumped into the water and grabbed a large block of ice, in which a mermaid was sealed. The mermaid inside was not dead, and the water spirit power in the ice was surging, and it was obvious that it was trying its best to break the seal. The leader of the frost crane unsealed the ice on the head of the mermaid, and before the mermaid could react, he forced a can of blue juice into her mouth. Chapter 103 Siren Girl. Ice Peach Juice. This is the juice squeezed from the ice peach, a mutant spiritual fruit newly cultivated by the frost sheep leader. After consuming it, the spiritual power in the body of creatures below the high-level extraordinary will be temporarily frozen. The cultivation cycle of ice peach fruit is long and relatively rare. It is not yet fully equipped, but it is obviously worth using it on these mermaids. Living captives are obviously more valuable than dead bodies, and maybe they can be interrogated to find out something. The other frost cranes also fed the juice to the other 4 mermaids and the extraordinary dolphin. Looking at the mermaids who have completely lost their ability to resist, the frost crane leader breathed a sigh of relief. These mutant spiritual plants cultivated by His Majesty and the frost sheep leader are really useful. Without thinking too much, the frost crane leader grabbed the mermaid next to him, and then said to the other frost cranes, "Frost Wind, Frost Snow, you take the other mermaids back to the prison in Frost Crane City and keep them under strict supervision. The other cranes continue to patrol the coast. I'm going to the royal capital. Tell His Majesty the news here, if it is as His Majesty said. There is an ocean kingdom behind these mermaids. After they disappeared for a while, other extraordinary creatures in this kingdom will inevitably go to the area where they disappeared to look for them. At that time, they will inevitably discover the existence of Frost Crane City. His Majesty must be notified as soon as possible." 2 hours later, the leader of the frost crane flew almost desperately, bursting out at supersonic speed. In just less than 2 hours, he had arrived at Lion King Mountain. Is this a mermaid? Looking at the humanoid creature in front of him with lake blue seaweed-like long hair, fair skin, graceful figure and mermaid tail, Chenmo couldn't help but think of the creatures in mythology. The mermaid in front of him must not be a creature in the real world that suddenly mutated and became a mermaid. Although the revival of spiritual energy can allow creatures to advance to the extraordinary level, it will not allow humans to directly become mermaids, right? She is most likely from a secret realm that has descended. At a glance, the information of this mermaid emerged one by one. Siren, level, medium extraordinary, constitution. 35, agility. 36, strength. 27, soul. 52, abilities, siren song, flow, water arrow, comprehensive combat power. 340-480, it really is a siren. According to legend, it is a beautiful creature with a human upper body and a fish tail. It has a voice like the sound of nature and often wanders between reefs and isolated islands to seduce people. Chenmo waved his claws, and the ice that froze the mermaid melted quickly. The mermaid girl who had just woken up from the ice was a little confused. She only remembered that the reconnaissance team was ambushed by a group of frost cranes with white wings, and then came here. Is this land? The mermaid girl's fish tail turned into human legs in just 2 seconds, and the water turned into a dress. Then, she saw the ice lion king in front of her, which was like a hill. On this ice lion, she felt a terrifying breath like the abyss. It was like encountering a natural enemy. Without a moment's hesitation, she ran away. Chenmo realized that it might be his fishing lion, or that scared the mermaid girl, so he restrained this aura. At the same time, he released a lord's pressure, controlling it to the extent that the mermaid girl could not move. 2 ice sky elves pulled the psychic ice silk and handed it to the mermaid girl. After the mermaid girl found that she could not move, she looked at the giant lion in front of her with fear. Even though the giant lion seemed to have restrained the aura that made her hair stand on end, its huge body still filled her heart with fear, and she felt like she was about to suffocate at any time. Their leader did not have such a strong pressure. She had only felt a similar pressure from the sea god. I didn't expect that there would be such a powerful existence on land. Roar, siren, why did you break into my territory? At this moment, a majestic and domineering voice came from the mermaid girl's heart. Hello. Great lion god, I am from the Siren clan of the Ocean Kingdom. I came here on the orders of the sea god to check the situation in this area. We didn't know this was your territory. We have no intention of offending you, the Siren girl thought for a moment and answered. She realized that she must have intruded into the territory ruled by this powerful being, so she was brought here by the frost crane. Sea god? Is it him? Chenmo suddenly thought of a video that Karm had shown him more than a month ago. That tentacle monster that could easily kill lord-level creatures. So he asked the Ice Sky Elf to play this video for the siren. Although only the tip of the iceberg was revealed, the siren girl recognized at a glance that the powerful being that killed the Black Abyss giant whale in the video was the giant snake god they believed in. Yes, it's our Lord Sea God, and it is hunting Black Abyss creatures. What is your purpose in coming to land? Chenmo asked again. In order to find other ancient secrets and extraordinary divine medicines. In order to fight against the creatures of the Black Abyss, we must become stronger. Lord Lion God, please let us go. We didn't know this was your territory. We have no ill intentions, the mermaid girl said. Her tone was timid, giving people the feeling of a weak little white flower, which easily aroused the desire to protect humans. But Chenmo was no longer a human being and was completely immune to this. Roar, tell me about your sea god and the current situation of the ocean, the majestic voice sounded again. Lord Sea God is the master of the West Sea Return Ruins, secret realm, and protects the safety of the West Sea. The mermaid girl hesitated for a moment and began to answer respectfully. She was talking about the origin of Lord Sea God, which was not important. About half a year ago, because of the revival of the spiritual energy in the West Sea, we woke up from the West Sea Return Ruins one after another. Soon, Chenmo learned the specific situation of the sea god from the mermaid girl. The appearance of Sea God is a giant snake with a body length of more than 100 meters. Its extraordinary level should be above the High Lord realm, but not the King realm. It is the master of the West Sea Gixa secret realm. The West Sea Gixa secret realm came much earlier than the Great Snow Mountain secret realm, because all the races in Deep Sea City believe in the giant snake clan and regard them as gods. Therefore, the giant snake unified and integrated the resources in the secret realm very early, and with a supply of a large amount of magic medicine, it successfully broke through to the High Lord. Originally, it should have become stronger little by little in the West Sea Gixa secret realm, and then become the overlord of the ocean. However, 1 month ago, the Black Abyss secret realm spread to the area where the West Sea Gixa was located. Affected by the Dark Abyss, the West Sea Gixa was greatly polluted. If it continues to stay in Deep Sea City, the spirit and body of the Gixa Sea clan will be polluted. So the giant snake began to migrate with the Gixa Sea clan. Along the way, it continued to conquer the ocean clans, looking for ancient secrets and magic medicines, hoping that one day it could destroy the Dark Abyss and return to the West Sea Gixu. The mermaid girl was captured by the Frost Crane leader while she was searching for the secret realm, and was brought to him. Chapter 104 Catch them all in one swoop. Chenmo had learned about the Black Abyss secret realm from Wang Long. This is a special ancient secret realm. The black water it emits is eroding the sea like a black hole. Currently, humans are helpless against it. It does match what the mermaid girl said. However, Chenmo did not completely believe what the mermaid girl said. But no matter what, he has a great interest in this giant snake and the forces behind it. The Ice Lion Kingdom now has an air force and an army, but it lacks a navy. Chenmo now needs a marine clan. The mermaid tribe in front of him, and even the giant snake god they believe in, are very good. If there is a chance, Chenmo wants to take them all under his command. Prepare in advance for future battles in the ocean. Strong, mighty, great, and wise lion god, what I said is true. Can you let me go? The mermaid girl pleaded with a twinkling eye. Please rest assured, our Gixa tribe loves peace and doesn't bear grudges at all. We will never seek revenge on you. If possible, we can also establish an alliance relationship. The mermaid girl thought of the mermaid leader's earnest teachings. That is, when facing other extraordinary creatures, try not to kill or use violence, but adopt the method of winning over and cooperating. Only by uniting all the forces that can be united can they have a chance to compete with the Black Abyss creatures. Forget about allies, but the Gixa tribe can join the Ice Lion Kingdom and accept the protection of the Ice Lion Kingdom. The tone of the Ice Lion King was full of unparalleled confidence. As if this was a matter of course. This is not something I can decide. Lord Lion God, how about you talk to our patriarch or Lord Sea God? The mermaid girl was shocked by the Ice Lion King's bold idea. Then she blinked and said, let me go back, I will find the patriarch to talk to you. She still wants to save her life now. After the patriarch finds out that they are missing, he will definitely come to find them. But in her heart, she hopes that the patriarch will not come to save her. Because she felt that the head of her family was no match for the giant lion in front of her, and if he came, he might suffer the same fate as her. Only the sea god can do that. Interesting, Chenmo felt that the mermaid girl in front of him was quite daring. I'll just wait for them to come and talk to me." After saying that, he let out a deafening lion roar and began to summon his clan. Arisha, Zyonba, Bingley. One after another, extraordinary creatures rushed to Lion King Mountain. Chenmo asked Shuang to take the mermaid girl back, and then ran out at an astonishing speed. He was going to Shuang City. According to the description of the leader of Shuang and the mermaid girl, he inferred that after the disappearance of the spirit pig team, the leader of the mermaids and even the giant snake god believed by the mermaids should soon go to the place where they disappeared to search for their traces. It was probably a matter of time before they found Shuang City. He had to make arrangements in advance. Then they would be caught in one fell swoop. 2 hours later. The coast of Shuang City. A dozen sirens quickly approached the Frost Crane City while avoiding the surveillance of the patrol in the sky. About 10 minutes later, they avoided the sight of the Frost Crane and landed quietly. Their fishtails instantly turned into human legs. And the water flow surrounded them and turned into clothes. If you look closely, you can see the fish scales on their wrists and thighs. "Chief, the security here is so tight that we were almost discovered. The spirit pig squad should have been caught by them," a sturdy siren guard who was over 2 meters tall spoke. The leader of the siren nodded. After discovering that the spirit pig scout team was missing, she led other sirens to track and search in the direction where the spirit pig team disappeared. Soon they found the city on land. Siren soon realized that the spirit pig scout team was likely discovered by the extraordinary creatures on land and then captured. The strict patrol in alert at this moment proved their guess. At this time, a petite siren on the left side of the siren leader siren couldn't help but whispered, "Sister, the water spirit here is too thin, it's so uncomfortable." Similar to the relationship between ice and water, ice spirit and water spirit can also be transformed into each other. Siren can feel the existence of ice spirit and water spirit at the same time. Although there is water spirit in Frost Crane City, the ice spirit in the air is more abundant. This environment is not friendly to them. "Sega, if you feel uncomfortable, you can go back first," Siren said to her sister. She also felt a little helpless about this sister who was both inexperienced and playful. "No. I also want to do my part," Sigia said coquettishly. Siren didn't continue to pay attention to her, but closed her eyes and sensed the concentration of spiritual energy in the city and the surrounding areas. 1 minute later, she opened her eyes and looked much more relaxed. An ancient secret realm of ice should have descended on this land. According to the current concentration of spiritual energy, this secret realm should have just descended not long ago, and there should not be any powerful extraordinary creatures. "Kinglin, Modern, tell the news of the ancient secret realm to the Lord of the Sea," Siren said to the 2 sturdy siren guards beside her. Yes, clan leader." Upon hearing this, the 2 siren guards quietly jumped into the water, their legs instantly turned into fishtails, and swam quickly to the distance. "Others, follow me into this city and find information about the Spirit Pig Squad." Soon, the sirens used illusions to charm the humans in Frost Crane City, and then changed into human clothes. The siren leader changed into a shabby black robe. She slowly walked towards a young man, and then slowly took off her hood. At the same time, her dark green pupils exuded a kind of fascinating light. The moment the young man saw the siren leader, his eyes began to lose focus and gradually became distracted. Obviously, he had been charmed by the siren leader. "Tell me, has anything strange happened in the city recently?" The siren's voice was full of some kind of fatal charm. Yes, the city lord seems to have caught some strange extraordinary creatures not long ago," the young man said slowly. When the Frost Crane leader flew through the sky with a huge piece of ice in his mouth, many people in Frost Crane City saw it. "Who is the city lord you are talking about? Where is he now?" The city lord is the patriarch of the Frost Crane tribe. "He should be in the city lord's mansion." "Where's the city lord's mansion? Tell me its location," the siren continued to ask. "South of the city. Walk about 1 kilometer along this road, and then turn left." The young man raised his arm and pointed in a certain direction with a dull look. "Okay, I know. Then please forget all this and treat it as a dream." The siren leader waved his hand, and a charming light emanated from his dark green pupils. The young man fell to the ground and fell asleep. Let's go. Chapter 105 Peach Mushroom, Super Chicken Feed. The siren leader who got the clues led the siren leader to approach Frost Crane City. Every time the siren leader walked a distance, she opened her mouth and emitted a super low frequency that humans and most creatures could not perceive. This super low frequency can be transmitted up to 5 kilometers away, and it is also the way for the siren clan to communicate. The siren sent out super low frequencies more than a dozen times in succession, but did not receive any response. This means that the Spirit Pig squad may be in a coma, or not in this area. Just as the sirens passed by a farmland, the siren Saga with long blue hair like seaweed could not help but exclaimed, "Sister, what kind of grass is this? It's too tall, and the extraordinary creatures here don't eat people, and they cultivate farmland with humans. It's incredible." In the distance, there were endless giant ice grasses growing on the grass. These 7 to 8 meter high ice grasses are just like trees. From a distance, they look like a blue grass forest. In the farmland, humans and extraordinary creatures each have their own duties and work hard. The scene in front of them made all the sea monsters marvel. The extraordinary creatures here are so friendly. You know, since the resurrection of spiritual energy, except for the sea god kingdom established by the sea god, other marine creatures basically fight each other when they meet. "Sister, look at that chicken." At this time, Saga exclaimed again. In the pasture hundreds of meters away, a huge hen was leisurely eating some strange colored mushrooms with pink and blue. Halfway through eating, the old hen suddenly squatted down. Then eggs fell from its tail like a machine gun. Puff puff puff. In less than 2 minutes, this huge old hen actually laid more than 30 eggs. The combined volume of these eggs is almost equal to the size of the old hen itself. After laying eggs, the old hen also looked exhausted. At this time, a human took a 7-meter high grass and placed it in front of the old hen. While the old hen was eating grass, he put all the eggs under the old hen into a bamboo basket and took them away with a smile. This scene made all the sirens dumbfounded. For them, it was really magical. "This chicken seems a bit powerful, sister. After we rescue the Spirit Pig team, do you want to steal 2 chickens back?" "Okay." After more than a week of reconstruction, most of the ruins of Frost Crane City have been rebuilt, and pastures and farms have been established. In addition, the black technology chicken feed peach mushrooms and super large ice grass developed by the Great Snow Mountain Sanctuary are used. In addition to the old hens that lay eggs very quickly and produce a lot of eggs, the sirens' dens are the gluttonous pigs that can eat a lot, and the unicorn frost sheep that are catalyzing the spiritual plants on the farmland. All of this opened the eyes of these sirens and stunned them. "This city is too weird." The leader of the sirens felt that there was weirdness everywhere here, and he couldn't help but have an ominous premonition in his heart. If he continued to stay here, it is very likely that something will happen. However, she sensed that there were no other Lord-level creatures within a radius of 1 kilometer. "Don't look anymore. The most urgent thing is to find the Spirit Pig squad," the leader of the sea monster urged, in the Lord's mansion of Frost Crane City. This was originally a park. After being occupied by the Ice Lion Corps, it was transformed into the Lord's mansion. The leader of the Frost Crane turned the largest spiritual tree beside the ice lake in the park into his own nest, and built a series of ice walls around the spiritual tree with ice blocks, forming a rather simple Lord's mansion. At this moment, a huge ice lion was lying on the edge of the ice lake, with excitement in his eyes. Finally here, as early as when the leader of the sea monsters and many sea monsters appeared on the coastline of Frost Crane City, they were discovered by the air patrol troops. The Frost Cranes, who received the order in advance, did not take action, but let them enter the city. The leader of the sea monster thought that he had perfectly avoided all patrols, but in fact, their whereabouts were always under the control of Chenmo. "It's a pity that they are just a few small fish," Chenmo thought. This time, only a Lord-level siren came, who should be the leader of the siren. Not the giant snake god mentioned by the siren girl. "But that's fine, let's defeat them one by one and eat these sirens first. As long as the siren clan keeps asking the gourd baby to save grandpa, then the chips in his hand will become more and more. When the time comes to fight the giant snake god, he can also take the initiative and advantage." Chenmo glanced at the siren girls imprisoned in the ice house. They didn't wear shackles or other tools on their hands and feet. At this moment, these sirens were excited and their mouths were slightly open, as if responding to something. Because Chenmo used the soul fusion technique, they didn't sense its breath at all, and thought that the Ice Lion King had left. So they dared to respond only after sensing the ultra-low frequency of the clan leader siren. This is simply a godsend. The ultra-low frequency released by the siren girls was heard clearly by Chenmo, but he didn't react at all and fell asleep on the ground. "Just wait for the fish to take the bait," Siren led the two sirens to walk quickly in Frost Crane City. When they were still 5 kilometers away from the city lord's mansion, Siren finally got a response from the Spirit Pig squad. They were indeed in the city lord's mansion. Let's go. The ominous premonition in her heart rose again. The leader of the Siren did not ignore this sense of crisis. As her extraordinary level increased, her senses became more and more acute. This sense of crisis was actually her subconscious discovery of danger. They seemed to be a little too smooth, and she always felt that there was some unknown risk hidden in this strange city. At this moment, she felt like she was walking into a spider web step by step. After rescuing the Spirit Pig squad, leave this city as soon as possible, Siren, the leader of the Siren, thought to herself. Soon, they came to the city lord's mansion. The city lord's mansion was silent, and it was rare to see extraordinary creatures or humans. The towering ice walls on all 4 sides stretched in front of them. The fluctuations of the Spirit Pig squad came from inside. They were in this building surrounded by ice walls. At this time, the ominous premonition in the heart of the Siren leader Siren reappeared, so she activated her ability to sense the extraordinary creatures in the ice wall. Soon, she sensed the existence of many extraordinary creatures in the ice wall. However, these extraordinary creatures are generally not strong. And there is no Lord Realm. After finishing the perception, Siren breathed a sigh of relief, and then she came to a more than 10-meter high ice wall. She gently touched the ice wall with her hand, and then condensed the water spirit power in her body. The next second, the hard ice wall quickly melted into water, and soon broke through a 2-meter high hole. Goin, the Siren leader and 2 Siren guards quickly drilled into the hole, but what caught their eyes was an extremely huge ice lion with soft white hair and ice crystal armor covering its whole body, which looked quite kingly. At this moment, the giant ice lion was lazily lying on the snow, staring at them with ice blue pupils. Seeing them, the ice lion also waved and greeted them. It seemed like they had been waiting for a long time. Chapter 106, Subjugating the Sirens. In an instant, the leader of the sea monster took out a bow and arrow inlaid with blue gems from his back, and then an arrow completely condensed by water flow quickly formed. Almost without aiming, this water arrow shot at the ice lion at an astonishing speed. The other sea monsters also bent their bows and shot arrows, and more than a dozen water arrows flew towards Chenmo at a rapid speed. The battle was about to start. The leader of the sea monster did not feel any spiritual fluctuations on the giant lion. But this size, and that kind of oppression. It is definitely a lord-level existence. Obviously, this ice lion deliberately restrained its breath, using the Spirit Pig squad as bait to actively lure them here. This is a trap. Facing the attack of the leader of the sea monster, Chenmo simply released his lord's pressure. A powerful force field suddenly appeared, and all the arrows condensed by the water flow were suspended in the air, unable to move forward. Then, these water arrows quickly condensed into ice in the blink of an eye, and then fell to the ground, turning into flying ice crystals. After discovering that the water god arrow could not cause any harm to the Ice Lion King, the Siren leader immediately began to hum softly, and a strange light burst out from his dark green pupils. The ethereal singing of the Siren clan sounded, as if it had some kind of power to drag living beings into the deep sea whirlpool. Voice of the Siren. The singing has the power to charm and even manipulate other living beings, which is also a unique ability of the Siren clan. Roar, however, what responded to her was a lion's roar. The Siren leader could not describe the power of this lion's roar in words. The moment the lion's roar sounded, her brain became blank, and all the sounds in her ears disappeared at this moment. The Siren's voice stopped abruptly. Suffocation and fear spread uncontrollably in the heart of the Siren leader. The upgraded roar made Chenmo's lion's roar have the effect of deterring fear. I don't know when, the Ice Lion King has walked in front of them. The Siren leader struggled to resist, but was overwhelmed by the powerful Lord's field and was completely unable to move. The same was true for the other dozen Sirens. The gap in strength between the two sides was too great. Submit, or die. After using the Psychic Ice Silk Link, the majestic and calm voice of the Ice Lion King sounded in Siren's mind. Siren did not answer, but the unyielding and anger in her emerald eyes already represented her attitude. The Siren clan will never be slaves. You can kill us, but the wrath of the sea god is not something you can bear. She thought of Kinglin and Motong who delivered the information. It might not take long for the sea god to know about the ice secret realm here. At that time, the sea god will avenge them. I'm sorry, I'm afraid your sea god can't save you for the time being. Chenmo saw through the thoughts of the siren leader and growled. Behind him, the frost crane leader brought up two mermaids. One of them was petite with pupils as black as ink, and the other had blue scales all over her arms. It was Kinglin and Motong. After Chenmo arrived at Shuang City, he immediately sent Shuang, Bink and Zilo to block the sky above the nearby sea. The whereabouts of the sirens, who thought they were secret, were actually always under his control. Not long after Kinglin and Modin jumped into the sea, Bink, who was only thinking about earning contribution points, sensed their existence through his powerful soul power. So he used freezing air to freeze the seawater near them and then captured them. Seeing the figures of Kinglin and Modin, the leader of the sirens, Siren, couldn't help but feel a little desperate. She regretted her carelessness. She made a wrong judgment because of the concentration of spiritual energy. I didn't expect such a powerful creature to be born on this land. But now it's useless to regret. With a habit of the Lord of the Sea to sleep for 3 days and 3 nights, it would probably take at least a week to find out that they were missing. Since you have such hope for your Lord of the Sea, you should choose to surrender. After all, being alive is more important than anything else, isn't it? Chenmo slowly walked towards the siren girl next to Siren, and then grabbed her in his hand with his front paw. As long as he exerts a little force, the mermaid will be killed. Let her go. Seeing this, the mermaid leader couldn't help shouting. Sister, how about, we surrender? Lord Poseidon will come to rescue us soon. After being caught by the Ice Lion King, Sega was already frightened and pale, crying and choking. We are willing to be loyal to you, the mermaid leader finally spoke bitterly. Chenmo let go of the mermaid girl, then waved his claws, and 2 ice sky elves came to the mermaid leader holding a piece of animal skin covered with runes. This is a family contract. It is the knowledge that Chenmo extracted from the Snow Mastiff King. It is a unilateral contract similar to the blood contract, but it is relatively milder. If the mermaid clan violates the contract, they will be cursed with a terrible curse. The mermaid leader touched the contract, confirmed the information, and his eyes hesitated. Finally, he sighed and injected spiritual power into the cell body contract. The Ice Lion King was right. There is hope only when you are alive. Soon, the contract was established. Looking at the sirens with grave faces, Chenmo kindly comforted them. Don't be sad, I'm waiting here for your Lord Sea God to arrive. If it defeats me, then you will be free. He knew that these sirens still had hope in their hearts before the giant snake appeared. Even if they were forced to sign a contract, they would never truly surrender. Chenmo didn't care about this. Because his real goal was to hunt the gods behind these sirens, that is, the giant snake of the High Lord level. As long as he defeated and subdued the giant snake, would he be afraid that these sirens would not surrender to him? Of course, for the giant snake. Chenmo did not underestimate the enemy. As a High Lord level, and suspected of having the blood of the gods, there must be many cards hidden. But Chenmo is also quite confident in his current strength. With a blessing of many self-discipline titles, now as long as it is not a king or above, it can't do anything to it. As long as it is arranged in advance and takes the initiative to establish an advantage. Occupy the right time, right place, and right people, then the hunting plan is still very likely to succeed. You actually still want to deal with Lord Poseidon. Hearing this, the leader of the sea monsters was shocked and couldn't help but feel a little funny. Although this Ice Lion King has some strength, it is too arrogant. Too overestimating its own abilities. It has no idea of the power of Lord Poseidon. Facing Lord Poseidon, the Ice Lion King has no chance of winning. But it's okay this way. As long as Lord Poseidon arrives, they can regain their freedom. Seeing the extremely arrogant Ice Lion King, the leader of the sea monsters was relieved. Chapter 107 The Calm Before the Storm. In the next few days, the entire Frost Crane City entered a state of urgency and high pressure. Chenmo attached great importance to the upcoming giant snake. He spent a lot of time every day practicing the powerful method of heavenly ice falling, teaching Lion Plus, improved his understanding, allowing him to learn the method with half the effort. In addition to the previous accumulation, Chenmo felt that he would be able to master it in 2 more days. He hoped that the giant snake would come a little slower. In this way, he could have one more trump card. All the original survivors in the city were transferred to the west of Frost Crane City, which is far away from the coast. On the farm, 2 young men who had finished their morning work were lying on the grass to rest. Brother, I feel that something big is going to happen next. The thin young man took a bite of ice and said to the tall and strong man next to him, "You don't need to say that. Haven't you seen so many powerful extraordinary creatures appear in the city recently? It is said that they are all leaders from the Holy Land, and they are at the same level as our city lord," the tall and strong man said. "In the kingdom of Ice Lion, all cities, including Frost Crane City, call the Great Snow Mountain Secret Realm a holy place. There should be a war, and the opponent is probably a giant beast in the ocean," the thin man with dark skin guessed. "The extraordinary creatures in the ocean are probably more terrifying than those on land. I hope His Majesty the Lion King can win. It's not easy to live a stable life," the tall and strong young man also sighed. Since the Ice Lion army occupied Frost Crane City, they originally thought that they would be greeted with a tragic fate. In a city dominated by extraordinary creatures, they dared not imagine how miserable the humans living in it would be. Unexpectedly, the Ice Lion King brought order and stability. Not only was their safety guaranteed, but the extraordinary creatures that used to hurt people in the city from time to time were no longer seen. And food was also guaranteed. As long as you make contributions to the Ice Lion Kingdom, you can get contribution points and get food. More importantly, the Ice Lion Kingdom provides everyone with the opportunity to become an awakener. The two brothers successfully awakened after eating extraordinary flesh and blood for a long time. Although their abilities are not strong, at least life is becoming more and more promising. They felt that their current life was no worse than the life before the disaster. Now, they all sincerely thanked the Ice Lion King for bringing all this. "We will win," the thin man said firmly. "The front line seems to need a lot of mutant plants. After we eat them, let's go and help carry them. Although we can't go to the front line, we should try our best to contribute our own strength." In just 2 days, the extraordinary leaders with combat effectiveness in the Great Snow Mountain Secret Realm and their dependents were transferred to Frost Crane City and deployed in various areas. At the same time, various mutant spiritual plants and extraordinary flesh and blood were transported to Frost Crane City from various urban farms and ranches in Tanzania and Kenya. Mutated ice mushrooms that can burst out dazzling white light, mutant ice vegetables that can produce explosions, and mutant ice fruits that can make creatures laugh wildly. These mutant spiritual plants were sent to the ammunition depot one by one, and they may play an unexpected role in the next war. At this moment, the war potential of the Ice Lion Kingdom was fully demonstrated. Like a war machine, everything was arranged in a tight schedule. After the Sirens signed the contract, they were not bound, but were not allowed to leave the city. The Sirens leader was shocked when he saw the scene in the city. Could this Ice Lion King really defeat Lord Poseidon? She was actually a little shaken. But soon, she found that there was something wrong with her thinking. Impossible. Lord Poseidon's strength is completely beyond the imagination of these creatures. They are just making some futile efforts now. There is no use doing so many fancy things. Time flies, and a week has passed in the blink of an eye. Lying flat lion, day 15, 0:30 in the morning. The whole Frost Crane City is silent. Chenmo lies on the snow, with talismans flowing between his claws. While brushing the self-discipline time of lying flat lion, he practices the method of heavenly ice falling. He has been in Frost Crane City for more than a week, but still hasn't waited for the giant snake. During this period, the Sirens have received many reinforcements. All of them were captured by Chenmo and his family. The leader of the sea monsters has a high status in the sea monster clan. After her disappearance, a steady stream of sea monsters were sent to Shuang City. It can be called a sea monster trap. Now there are more than 200 sea monsters in the city lord's mansion of Shuang City, and almost half of the sea monster clan is here. But even so, the god they believe in, that is, the big snake, still did not appear. At this time, Chenmo heard the sound of rolling waves faintly. At the same time, he keenly felt that the whole Shuang City was shaking slightly. So Chenmo ran to a nearby high slope. I saw huge waves suddenly appearing on the sea level in the distance. The rolling waves were dozens of meters high, as if a super tsunami was coming. It was the giant snake. This giant snake did not intend to hide its breath at all. Instead, it announced its arrival with the surging waves and swore its anger. This is an extremely confident performance. And in the huge waves, countless extraordinary marine creatures appeared. Unicorn dolphins, killer whales over 20 meters long, various shrimp soldiers and crab generals, and of course, there are scattered sea monsters. This is the army of the kingdom of the sea god. The gods who follow them came together, Finally, facing the terrifying scene with great momentum, there was no fear in the eyes of the Ice Lion King, but full of excitement. With amazing vision, Chen Mo's eyes passed through the stormy waves and saw the culprit who set off the huge waves. It was a giant snake with a body length of more than 100 meters, as if it came from mythology. It has a pair of golden eyes, like a flowing candle in the dark night, and the scales on its body are interlocking, exuding a primitive metallic luster. Soon, Chen Mo obtained the information of this giant snake: Hydra giant snake, juvenile, level, high lord, physique, 720, agility, 485, strength, 420, spirit, 240, abilities, water dragon cannon, water dragon chant, giant snake tail swing, whirlpool, myth revival, comprehensive combat power. 9,311,005, Hydra giant snake. Seeing the name of the giant beast, Chen Mo couldn't help but think of a mythical creature in Western mythology. Legend has it that this is a monster with 9 heads, somewhat similar to Xiangliu in Chinese mythology. And this giant snake in front of him, which is over 100 meters long, is actually only in its infancy. Chapter 108: The Peak Battle of Lords. Maybe because it is a descendant of the gods, the highest comprehensive combat power of this Hydra giant snake is even more than 1,000 higher than that of Chen Mo now. This is also the first time that Chen Mo has encountered a creature with a maximum comprehensive combat power of over 10,000. The Guardian cannot observe the comprehensive combat power. There is no doubt that this is definitely the most powerful opponent Chen Mo has faced since his rebirth. If it were in the ocean, Chen Mo would never be the opponent of this Hydra giant beast. But if this giant snake dares to go ashore, it would be hard to say. Lion King, the Lord of the Sea has come, and you can't bear its anger. Let us go. This is your only way to survive. Looking at the rolling waves in the distance, the eyes of the siren leader were full of excitement. If you release us now, I promise you that I will plead with the Lord of the Sea for you. These days, she found that this Ice Lion's personality is actually quite good, and it did not embarrass or hurt him. More importantly, it is also the master of an ancient secret realm. It is a target worth winning over. Faced with the increasingly rapid expansion of the Black Abyss secret realm, they are in urgent need of allies. Chen Mo ignored the leader of the sea monsters, but just let out a deafening lion roar and began to gather his followers. Then he burst out with amazing speed and rushed towards the hillside in the distance. At the same time, the Ice Lions in Frost Crane City also saw the huge waves on the ocean and the dense sea extraordinary creatures in the huge waves. Facing the mighty and aggressive sea army, their eyes were not afraid, but full of excitement. War means military merit. Soon, Chen Mo came to an empty snowfield dozens of kilometers away from Frost Crane City. This is the dual place he chose for himself and the giant snake. It is far enough from the ocean and Frost Crane City. If the battle is fought here, even if the giant snake is defeated and wants to escape, it will not be able to return to the ocean easily for a while. In addition, Chen Mo did not want the Frost Crane City, which was rebuilt with great difficulty, to be reduced to ruins again because of the war. The Hydra giant snake naturally felt the breath of the Ice Lion King at the first time. Because Chen Mo used the spirit fusion technique to conceal his own aura, in the eyes of the Hydra giant snake, this Ice Lion was only a mid-level lord. How could a mid-level Lord Ice Lion dare to capture its family and provoke it? Who gave it the courage? At this moment, the Hydra giant snake's heart was already ignited with anger. Without thinking too much, it rushed directly to the location of the Ice Lion. Under it, huge waves rolled, surrounding the Hydra giant snake and moving forward quickly. The Hydra giant snake had absolute confidence. Below the King realm, it is invincible. Just when the Hydra giant snake was still 1,000 meters away from the Ice Lion King, it took the lead in launching an attack. 6 spiritual talismans appeared under the neck of the Hydra giant snake, and the water spirit power quickly gathered, and then it spewed out a huge water column with a diameter of more than 10 meters from its mouth. Water Dragon Cannon. This water cannon was extremely fast, and it had arrived in front of Chen Mo in the blink of an eye. Chen Mo activated Frenzy Form at the first time and used Wild Awakening at the same time. After the quality of Raging Lion was upgraded to green, the speed and reaction speed increased by about 50%. The Ice Lion King instantly burst out at twice the speed of sound and easily dodged the attack of the Water Dragon Cannon. Boom! The water column spit out by the Hydra Serpent was like a destructive death ray, destroying everything it touched. The moment the hard rock touched the water column, It was completely crushed to dust. It was hard to imagine that the water flow could burst out with such power. The Hydra serpent wanted to correct the direction of the water dragon cannon, but found that it was difficult to catch the figure of the ice lion, let alone hide it. The speed of this ice lion was too fast. At the same time, a group of frost cranes flew by in the night, and they all held strange-looking frost blue mushrooms in their claws. Under the cover of the night, they secretly flew over the Hydra serpent. When the Hydra serpent released the water dragon cannon, they loosened their claws. Then countless flash mushrooms fell from the sky, like a mushroom rain. Bang! Bang! In an instant, countless dazzling white lights exploded. The Hydra giant snake, which was not prepared at all, fell into a blinding state in an instant. At this time, its heart was beating wildly, and it vaguely felt that a huge crisis was coming. Crisis premonition. As a powerful existence at the peak of the Lord, it has a keen intuition about crisis. And the source of the crisis at this moment is the ice lion. After the effect of the flash mushroom dissipated, Hydra couldn't help but look up and look at the sky above his head. In the night, hundreds of ice spears more than 10 meters long and frosty blue suddenly appeared. They were like the sword of Damocles, hanging high above their heads, and seemed to fall and kill them at any time. Heavenly ice falling. After practicing for more than half a month, Chenmo was able to release this method. It's just that the pre-release swing is a bit long, it takes a full 5 seconds. And the flash mushrooms dropped by the frost crane troops created enough time for it. This is also Chenmo's battle plan. At this moment, these ice spears have completely locked the Hydra giant snake. The sense of crisis in the heart of the Hydra giant snake has reached its peak. This is definitely not an attack that a mid-level lord creature can launch. This cunning ice lion is likely to have hidden its extraordinary level. The ice spears fell at an astonishing speed. Facing the torrential rain of ice spears, it was too late to completely dodge them. The Hydra giant snake simply closed its eyes and moved quickly based on its intuition. Bang! Bang! Ice crystals danced wildly. The Hydra giant snake finally dodged about 60% of the ice spears, but its body was too large to completely dodge all of them. These ice spears were much more powerful than it had imagined, and each one could pierce its hard scales and penetrate its flesh and blood. There were even 2 ice spears that penetrated its body directly, nailing it to the snowfield like 2 nailing dragon pillars. So far, the war is going according to Chenmo's plan. Taking advantage of the giant snake's underestimation and anger, he lured it to the land far away from the ocean. Then, with a time when the flash mushroom blinded it for a short time, he successfully released heavenly ice falling, and directly opened the big one to severely injure the giant snake. Facing an equally matched opponent, Chenmo was not careless at all. The effect of heavenly ice drop was even better than Chenmo had imagined. Under the effect of fishing lion, the power of the heavenly ice drop was amazing, and it directly hit the Hydra serpent with just 1 strike. With the title of fishing lion, Chenmo can be called an aquatic animal killer. Although the Hydra serpent is a snake, it is a water snake and also belongs to the category of aquatic creatures. The Hydra serpent used the tremendous power in its body and instantly shattered the 2 ice spears that pierced its body, and golden blood flowed out. Roar, you succeeded in angering me, the Hydra serpent roared, and an extremely strong desire to fight was revealed in its golden vertical pupils. Originally thought to be just a little lion that was crushed to death, it did not expect that this ice lion was unexpectedly powerful, which made it very eager to fight. The Hydra serpent quickly swam towards the Ice Lion King, wanting to engage in close combat with the Ice Lion King. While attacking Chenmo, the Hydra snake unreservedly released its lord's pressure, and its mighty snake power swept all around. Seeing this, Chenmo did not show any weakness and also released his lord's pressure. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109 Hexagonal Lion King. The pressure from the 2 lords collided and crushed each other, boulders were shattered, and snowflakes were swirling all over the sky. The area with a radius of 1 kilometer, centered on the 2 giant beasts, became an absolute restricted area. Any giant beast that wanted to set foot in this area would be crushed to the ground by the powerful force field, and some fragile creatures would even be directly squeezed into a pool of blood mist. This was a battle between top lords. Even ordinary Lord-level creatures had no chance to intervene. The huge snake body of the Hydra giant snake swam in a winding manner, quickly approaching Shenmo at the same time. Dozens of light blue spiritual symbols appeared on its scales. The water flow quickly condensed, and then two water snake heads that were extremely similar to the head of the main body appeared on the left and right sides of the huge head of the Hydra giant snake. Obviously, this is also a powerful method. Just what I want, Shenmo thought as he looked at the Hydra giant snake approaching him quickly. The heavenly ice drop just now consumed most of the spiritual power in the ice pill. Now the spiritual power in the ice pill can only support it to release a few more black ice claws. The speed of the Hydra giant snake was extremely fast. It came to Shenmo in the blink of an eye, and the two snake heads on the left and right launched an attack. At the same time, the tentacles next to the giant snake's head also turned into whips and waved wildly, attacking Shenmo from different angles, almost covering all areas around the Ice Lion King. Obviously, the melee ability of this Hydra giant snake is also extremely amazing. However, what the Hydra giant snake did not expect was that the Ice Lion King burst out with an amazing speed, and it was actually quickly shuttling between the water snake's head and countless tentacles. It was like a ghost, as fast as lightning. After the upgrade of Raging Lion, his speed and reaction were greatly improved. With a blessing of Raging Lion, Shenmo can now easily burst out at an ultra-fast speed of twice the speed of sound. It can run 700 meters per second. What an exaggerated speed. While dodging, Shenmo directly approached the back of the Hydra giant snake. The spiritual talismans flowed between its claws, and the frosty air spread between its claws, hitting the Hydra giant snake heavily. Hit the snake at its 7 inches. Although this big snake is a little bigger, it is still a snake after all. Its claws scratched the scales like black iron, emitting dazzling sparks, leaving 3 wounds more than 10 centimeters deep, and golden blood kept dripping. Roar! The Hydra giant snake was enraged, and the two water snake heads on the left and right turned directly into separate existences, biting Shenmo again. The two giant beasts fought in a group. The Hydra giant snake became more and more frightened as the battle went on. The speed of this ice lion was simply too fast to be normal. And it was too flexible. Its attack was so fierce, but it didn't cause any damage to it. What made the Hydra giant snake even more upset was that this ice lion was constantly dodging its bites, slapping and binding with its tentacles, and it actually had the spare energy to use its claws to continuously cause damage to its body. Thanks to the effect of Fishing Lion, each of Shenmo's black ice claws could cut through the hard snake scales and invade the frosty air into the giant snake's body. If the Hydra giant snake had a blood bar, it would be able to intuitively see that the vitality of this giant beast was being eroded bit by bit. Slow but deadly. But what surprised Shenmo was that even so, the Hydra giant snake still had no intention of retreating. According to the original plan and prediction, the Hydra giant snake should have retreated back to the ocean at this moment. This Hydra giant snake still has a trump card. Now it seems to have been severely injured, but I still have to be careful. When observing the Hydra giant snake before, Shenmo noticed that it had mastered the ability of Myth Revival, which is very likely the trump card of the Hydra giant snake. What Shenmo didn't expect was that the Hydra giant snake was a little bit overwhelmed at this moment. It thought in its heart that it must hit the Ice Lion King. Swish! The black ice claws slapped again and grabbed 2 more snake scales of the giant snake. Then Shenmo dodged the attack of the 2 water snake heads sideways. However, at this moment, the Hydra giant snake's tail suddenly accelerated, and this time it actually predicted Shenmo's dodge position. A very spiritual giant snake swung its tail, and the powerful force directly threw the Ice Lion King away. I hit you, the Hydra giant snake was ecstatic. The smile just rose, but it froze in the next second. Hey, no he. Because it saw the Ice Lion King that was slapped away quickly stood up from the snow. His expression was fine. Fat House Happy Lion, and Gluttonous Lion, gave Shenmo unparalleled defensive power. He is now an out-and-out physical cultivator. Seeing this, the golden snake pupils of the Hydra giant snake could not help but reveal a look of horror. The blow that he was determined to win did not cause any substantial damage to the Ice Lion King. The physical fitness of the Ice Lion King far exceeded its imagination. Isn't it? You are fast, so why is your defense so exaggerated? What hexagonal warrior? Where did this Ice Lion King come from? Could it be a descendant of a god? The giant snake Hydra couldn't help but have a terrible guess in his heart. At this moment, The severe pain from his body made it realize that it was at an absolute disadvantage in this battle. Underestimating the enemy. The giant serpent Hydra found that on land, he was completely crushed by the Ice Lion King in front of him. If he continued to fight like this, he would definitely not gain any advantage. At this moment, he had already begun to retreat in his heart and wanted to move the battlefield to the ocean. Roar, so, he roared. The two water snakeheads attacked the Ice Lion King incomparably violently. Pretending to want to attack, they actually dived into the huge waves and wanted to return to the nearby sea area. At the same time, on the other side of the battlefield, the Ice Lion King and the family of the giant serpent Hydra also fought in a group. King against king, general against general, soldier against soldier. In addition to the leader of the sea monster, the sea god kingdom also has 3 lords. They are a killer whale, a shocking dolphin and a giant crab with huge claws. Among them, the killer whale and the shocking dolphin do not have the ability to move freely on land, so they use the surfing move to walk on the waves. While walking on the waves, they casually spit out thick water columns to attack the enemy. Just as the unicorn dolphin was aiming at a frost crane above its head, it suddenly felt a sharp pain the next second. It was as if countless needles pierced through its scalp and into its brain. In fact, it was true. This was the new ability that Elsa awakened after she was promoted to Lord, Ice Needle Storm, which condenses ice spiritual power and mental power into invisible ice needles to directly cause a fatal blow to the opponent's spirit. Perhaps because of the relatively high soul attribute, Sister Lion's awakened abilities are almost all related to mental attacks. After the Ice Needle Storm succeeded, Elsa immediately released Soul Snow, and blue snowflakes fluttered down the unicorn dolphin's head and skin. The unicorn dolphin felt dizzy before he recovered from the splitting headache, and his consciousness became drowsy, and he fell into deep sleep. Chapter 110 Fierce Battle. Elsa, the lion's sister, perfectly inherited the fighting style of her younger brother Old Six. Under the cover of night, it hid in the dark and was very low-key. Then it suddenly attacked at the critical moment and defeated the enemy with one blow. On the other side, the Frost Lion Tyrant also took the initiative to charge. The opponent it chose was the killer whale with a body length of more than 20 meters. The killer whale summoned huge waves and attacked the Frost Lion fiercely. When the two were still 10 meters away, the Frost Lion Tyrant suddenly turned around and let out a stinky fart. It had completed the self-discipline challenge of Stinky Lion. After experiencing the powerful power of Stinky Lion, it liked this ability and even used it as its main means of attack. Or in other words, the starting move. Because it was too sudden, the speed of the killer whale's charge was too fast. The dark green stinky fart came on the front and instantly enveloped it completely. The rampaging killer whale general took a deep breath, and the spicy and irritating gas ran through its body. Instantly, the pupils of the killer whale general dilated and his expression froze. Then he began to vomit. The smell was simply too horrible. However, this was just the beginning. Facing the killer whale general who was in a semi-fainted state, Xiongba took the initiative to approach, and then let out another stinky fart at its head. Although the action was not very elegant, the effect was unusually good. With the last will of the killer whale general wanted to dive into the water. But it didn't work. The dark green gas directly dyed the seawater into a color that was very poisonous at first glance. Xiongba let out 2 more stinky farts in succession. Long before the battle, Xiongba had eaten a large number of mutant ice beans. This mutant spiritual plant that Shenmue accidentally cultivated can induce a large number of farts in a short period of time. With a stinky fart lion, it is simply a killer weapon. Facing Xiongba who did not play by the rules, the killer whale was sent all of a sudden. The endless stinky farts made the killer whale foam at the mouth, belly up to the sky, completely fainted, and lost the ability to resist. The coma made it unable to maintain the surrounding water flow, so it was directly stranded on the snowfield. Xiongba originally wanted to rip open the killer whale general in front of him, but he remembered that His Majesty the Lion King had told them before the battle not to kill these sea creatures as much as possible. His Majesty wanted to subdue them as his own family. The Ice Lion Kingdom currently has no navy. So Xiongba finally did not kill the killer whale general. After giving the killer whale general a fart, he rushed to other battlefields. On the other side of the battlefield, the snow mastiff leader burned the royal blood in his body and climbed to the lord level again, fighting the cancer leader to a 50-50 draw. The lord who burned the royal blood to advance is not a real lord level. With the combat experience and mastery of the King Realm, the Snow Mastiff leader barely fought to a 50-50 draw. Just as it was struggling to support, it suddenly found that the Cancer leader held his head with his claws, as if he had suffered some kind of powerful mental attack. Ice Needle Storm. At the same time, a huge ice block fell from the sky and knocked him unconscious. This is the extraordinary ability, Heavy Ice, that Xiongba mastered after he was promoted to the Lord Realm. It can use ice spirit power to create ice blocks with exaggerated density and mass. Its ice condensation technique can instantly cause great power. After just one encounter, Aisha and Xiongba, who had finished their respective battles, subdued the Cancer General. So far, in less than 10 minutes, the 3 Lord-level creatures of the Sea Clan were all defeated. Seeing this scene, the Snow Mastiff leader couldn't help but feel a little frustrated. The Ice Lion King was fine. Unexpectedly, now even the 2 Ice Lions under the Ice Lion King have a combat power that exceeds his own. In the center of the battlefield, a fierce war also broke out. A giant vine over 30 meters high stood in the center of the battlefield. This was the main body of the Blue Demon Vine. As the vines flew, large numbers of extraordinary creatures of the Sea Clan fell down. The Ice Crystal Rat began to swim in the battlefield, and the Ice Crystal arrows continued to pierce the hard shells of the Shrimp Soldiers and Crab Generals. With its super fast speed and perception ability, it can easily avoid most attacks. And on the back of the Ice Crystal Rat, there was also a gem turtle with a gem-like tortoise shell lying. After being brought back to the secret realm of the Great Snow Mountain by Shenmo, the gem turtle soon became an inseparable iron triangle with the little demon vine and the Ice Crystal Rat. At this moment, the turtle's limbs, head, and tail were all retracted into the turtle shell, perfectly acting as the shield of the Ice Crystal Rat. Some splash damage was perfectly absorbed by the turtle. The turtle-rat combination also became an existence that the Sea Clan soldiers on the battlefield could not handle at all. The Ice Crystal Rat felt very happy. I didn't expect that the rat would have a day of killing all around. Driven by the contribution points, the Ice Sparrow has also been killing madly. As its wings fluttered, the freezing air continued to freeze the extraordinary creatures in the Sea Clan army. There are about hundreds of thousands of extraordinary creatures brought by the Hydra giant snake. However, most of the Sea Clans do not have the ability to go ashore, so they can only stare blankly at the coast. Only some extraordinary creatures such as extraordinary spirit crabs and flying fish can retain a certain combat effectiveness after going ashore. The Ice Lion King's followers have been lying in ambush for a long time, and various ice-type moves swept towards the Sea Clan army like a torrent. Each leader of the Ice Lion clan has the strength of a Quasi-Lord and the ability to fight 1 against 100. They are also equipped with various explosive ice fruits and laughing ice fruits. In addition, after solving the 3 Lord-level Sea Clans, Xiongba and Aisha were free. They released the Lord's pressure without reservation, and charged forward like mowing the grass. This war is completely one-sided. After the battle, Aisha's pupils were slightly bright, and she looked at the center of the battlefield, with a little worry in her eyes. The other extraordinary creatures in the Ice Lion Kingdom also looked at the battlefield where the Ice Lion King and the Hydra Beast were fighting. The decisive victory or defeat of this war still depends on the outcome of the battle between the 2 beasts, but with a roar. The giant snake quickly rode the waves and meandered towards the seaside. It wants to escape. It found that on land, it is not the opponent of this Ice Lion King. The sea is its home court. The sirens in the distance couldn't believe it when they saw this scene. In their eyes, the invincible and invincible god now has a day to escape? The sirens prayed for their gods, hoping that the giant snake could show its power and defeat the giant lion. Seeing that the big snake wanted to escape, Shenmo would naturally not let it get its wish. If it really escaped back to the sea, then Shenmo would have no way to deal with it. He released the ice storm at the first time. The water around the giant snake instantly condensed into ice, but the Hydra giant snake ignored it and broke through the ice with its huge body. At this time, the nearby group of snow foxes simultaneously used ice illusion on the giant snake Hydra. The giant snake's mental power was not particularly strong, and it could not be completely immune to so many ice illusions. So the Hydra giant snake was in a trance for a moment. Chapter 111 Myth Revival. Then, the Frost Crane troops in the sky released another round of flash mushrooms. The dazzling white light illuminated the night, and the giant snake was as bright as day within 100 meters. All creatures that approached would be blinded in an instant. The Hydra giant snake's pace was slowed down. Taking advantage of the 5 seconds created by his family, Chen Mo had come to the side of the Hydra giant snake again. He no longer concealed his fishing lion temperament. This is also one of Chen Mo's hidden cards until now, which can cause a huge sense of oppression to all aquatic creatures. In an instant, the Hydra giant snake's body trembled, as if it had encountered some kind of natural enemy. The scales on its body actually exploded completely at this moment, looking extremely terrifying. How is this possible? The Hydra giant snake couldn't believe it in its heart. As a descendant of the gods, it would actually be afraid of an ice lion king with mediocre blood? Taking advantage of the moment when the Hydra giant snake's body was stiff, Chen Mo used the mysterious ice claw again, grabbing dozens of snake scales, leaving 3 deep scars that could be seen to the bone at its 7 inches. Looking at the relentless pursuit of the ice lion king, the fear in the heart of the Hydra snake quickly turned into anger. Roar! The Hydra snake roared, and the blood in its body boiled. It was obviously furious. It was the descendant of the gods. In its eyes, this ice lion king dared to bully it like this. Roar! You are looking for death? The Hydra snake decided to fight to the death. Densely packed dark blue spiritual symbols appeared on the surface of its metallic scales, and the surrounding water spiritual power became agitated and gathered madly in the direction of the giant snake. Obviously, this is an extremely powerful method, myth revival. Stimulate the mythical blood in the body and gain unparalleled powerful power in a short period of time. Unlike the king's blood used by the Frost Wolf leader before, it stimulates the power deep in his own blood. The only disadvantage of this method is that it consumes too much energy, and it will enter a long period of weakness after it ends. Soon, 2 protrusions actually grew next to the head of the Hydra snake. After these 2 protrusions appeared, they grew at an extremely exaggerated speed. In the blink of an eye, the 2 protrusions grew to the same size as the head of the Hydra giant snake. Something seemed to be coming out. At the same time, the breath emitted by the Hydra giant snake became more and more powerful. The comprehensive combat power rose rapidly at a rate of several hundred per second. The mythical Hydra giant snake has 9 heads and is a veritable 9-headed snake. The 2 heads that are forcibly grown will inevitably greatly improve its combat power. If this continues, it is not impossible for the combat power of the Hydra giant snake to be raised to the king level. Chen Mo did not hesitate and immediately activated frost condensation to freeze the blood in the giant snake's body. The essence of mythological revival is blood awakening. If the blood flow is frozen, it should be able to slow down its recovery. Soon, a layer of white frost appeared on the surface of the Hydra giant snake's body, and the 2 heads that were about to grow also stopped growing. It worked. But after less than 3 seconds, the white frost on the Hydra giant snake suddenly dissipated, and the powerful blood began to flow again. At this time, Chen Mo had already jumped onto the face of the Hydra giant snake and roared an icy wind at its head. Roar! An incomparable roar exploded in the ear of the Hydra giant snake. The Hydra giant snake has no external ears, but it still retains the inner ear and auditory bones, and the power of this lion roar has already materialized into a powerful shock wave. Sweeping around, the lion roar can be heard in an area of hundreds of miles. The snow on the snowfield exploded one after another, and even the Ice Lion King's followers covered their ears, trying to escape from this area as soon as possible. When the volume reaches the extreme, the power it produces is extremely terrifying. Not to mention that the icy wind roar also contains mental attacks. It was released close to the ear again. In an instant, the Hydra giant snake felt a blank in its brain. Chen Mo has done a simple test. After the roaring lion is upgraded, the power is about doubled. Coupled with the blessing of fishing lion, the damage caused to the Hydra giant snake has doubled. This is impossible, the last thought flashed through the mind of the Hydra giant snake, and then another lion roar followed. Roar! Its consciousness immediately sank into darkness. The Hydra giant snake, which had suffered heavy damage one after another, had not even fully released the myth revival, and was stunned by the 2 icy wind roars of Chen Mo close to its face. Of course, it was not dead yet, but just fainted for a short time. After the Hydra giant snake lost consciousness, the 2 large meat bags next to its head naturally stopped growing, and shrank at an astonishing speed, and then returned to calm. How is this possible? In the distance, the leader of the sea monster saw this scene and couldn't help kneeling on the ground, his eyes dull, and his eyes were full of disbelief. Their gods, actually lost? Roar! Chen Mo let out a deafening lion roar, announcing that the battle had come to an end. The Ice Lion clan gave a deafening cheer, and Aisha, Xiongba and other beasts came to Chenmo. The Frost Crane leader thought about it and brought the Siren leader with him. The Siren leader, who was extremely excited an hour ago, now looked extremely lost. The pupils of her and other sirens seemed to have lost their light. Seeing Chenmo, she knelt on her knees and begged, "Please, let our gods go. Whatever you ask me to do, I am willing." The Hydra serpent is the god served by the Siren clan for generations. In ancient times, it was the totem of their clan. "Don't forget, you are my clan, and you have no right to bargain with me." Chenmo's tone was cold. "Find a way to convince your gods. As long as the Gixu clan joins the Ice Lion Kingdom, I will naturally stop attacking it." Of course, he still wanted to subdue the Hydra serpent in his heart. This big guy is not only powerful and has amazing potential, but more importantly, it is also a god believed in by the Ocean Empire. As long as he subdues it, Chenmo can directly obtain tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of marine followers. If Chenmo wants to expand his marine territory in the future, he must have a marine force. More importantly, Hydra has occupied a considerable area of sea. After subduing it, these seas will naturally be considered the territory of the Ice Lion Kingdom. The territory of the followers is naturally its territory. The vitality of the Hydra giant snake is extremely tenacious. After only 10 minutes, it woke up. Seeing the Ice Lion King, there was still disbelief in its size. Chenmo had already used the psychic ice silk to establish a spiritual connection with it, so he said directly, "Be loyal to me, and I will let you live." The voice of the Ice Lion King carried a majesty that could not be refused. Chapter 112 Conquer the Hydra Serpent. Ice Lion, are you a descendant of mythology? The Hydra Serpent did not answer. It was still very entangled in its defeat. Since it was born more than half a year ago, it has never encountered an opponent. Even the Black Abyss one-horned python was evenly matched with it. Now it has actually lost to an Ice Lion that looks ordinary but has an exaggerated combat power? Chenmo shook his head and then said calmly, "I am a newly emerged creature in this world, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that I defeated you. Submit to me, and I promise to take you back to the West Sea Gixu one day and make it your territory. In addition, when the third-level magic medicine appears in my secret realm, I will give it to you first." Chenmo tried the first round of persuasion. Creatures with mythological blood may be somewhat arrogant and not so easy to subdue. From the mouth of the Siren leader, Chenmo learned that the Hydra serpent once lived in a secret realm in the deep sea, but it was eroded by the Black Abyss. The Hydra serpent was forced to leave with him. And this time when he came here, he felt the possibility of the existence of other secret realms. They want to conquer the secret realm here, and then obtain the third-level magic medicine, so as to advance to the King realm, and then kill back to the West Sea return ruins. The biggest needs of the Hydra giant snake at present are the third-level magic medicine and revenge. Chenmo chose to treat the symptoms. Now there are two choices in front of the Hydra giant snake. Is it to die in obscurity, or to revive the glory of the Hydra clan and return to the secret realm of the West Sea return ruins? Roar, Lion King, I am willing to submit to you. To Chenmo's surprise, the Hydra giant snake agreed directly. He originally thought that the Hydra giant snake would have to weigh it in his heart before it might agree. Even the persuasion of the Siren chief was useless. The Hydra giant snake is very sober. Can the mythical blood be eaten? Survival is the hard truth. Seeing that his god chose to surrender cleanly, the Siren chief was also relieved. If the Lord of the Sea would rather die than surrender, they would naturally choose to continue fighting until the last drop of blood in their bodies is shed. Roar, with the surrender of the Hydra giant snake, all the sea creatures also gave up their resistance. Of course, there were not many sea creatures that had the power to resist. Fortunately, most of the sea creatures were only injured, not dead. After discovering that the balance of victory was completely tilted towards her side, Aisha asked the extraordinary creatures of the Ice Lion Kingdom to try not to kill the sea creatures. These sea creatures are likely to become part of the Ice Lion Kingdom soon. A wise choice. Then, sign the contract. The Ice Sky Elf beside Chenmo took out a beast skin scroll, which was the same family contract as the sea monsters. After confirming that the contract was correct, the Hydra giant snake injected its own ice spiritual power and completed the contract. How big is your territory? After completing the contract, Chenmo asked. The Hydra giant snake shook its head. It never cared about the area of the territory and the number of its followers. except for the sea monsters, unicorn dolphin tribe and killer whale tribe that followed it in the deep sea city at the beginning. The other followers were just little brothers that were conquered by the way while looking for the magic medicine. Then you should have found a lot of magical medicines in the ocean, right? I need seeds of magical medicines, Chen Mo said. He planned to build an ocean farm to cultivate magical medicines and spiritual plants of the water system. In this way, a group of water-based extraordinary creatures and human awakeners were cultivated. The current military attributes of the Ice Lion Kingdom are too single. Moreover, the abilities of water-based extraordinary creatures or awakeners are likely to be of the healing type, which is still very useful for the current Ice Lion Kingdom. Seeds? What seeds? The Hydra giant snake was stunned for a moment, and there was a bit of clarity in its golden eyes like a college student. Seeing this, Chen Mo did not hold any hope for it. It is estimated that when this guy ate the magical medicine, he swallowed the branches, leaves, roots and stems together. Chen Mo looked at the siren, the leader of the sea monster next to him, and instructed, in the future, the magical medicines and spiritual plants found in the ocean will be handed over to the Ice Lion Kingdom for unified cultivation. Okay, Your Majesty the Lion King. In the previous week, the Ice Lion King did not completely restrict their freedom. The siren visited the farms and ranches in Frost Crane City. It was really an eye-opener. She had never thought that the magic medicine could be planted in large quantities, and after catalysis, it could mature in just a few months. It was incredible. At that time, she was thinking that it would be great if the Ocean Kingdom could also plant the magic medicine in large quantities. She didn't expect that this wish would come true so soon. It's just that the way to achieve it was very different from what she imagined. Okay, you go back. Before leaving, Chen Mo handed several copies of the Ice Lion Law to the giant snake Hydra. Roar, what is this? The giant Hydra snake asked in confusion. The Ice Lion Law is a rule that the Sea Clan should follow in the future. After saying that, Chen Mo looked at the leader of the sea monster. Do you still remember the knowledge I taught you before? In the past week or so, Chen Mo taught the sea monster leader the knowledge of Chinese and the Ice Lion Law in his spare time. After letting it learn, it will be promoted among the sea monster clan and other sea clans. Under Chen Mo's personal teaching, Siren has learned Chinese. For the first time, Siren discovered that her comprehension was so amazing. When she was learning, it was like God's help. In just 1 week, she actually learned such a complex language. As a result, the Ice Lion King said, "You are the worst student I have ever taught," which instantly extinguished its inner pride. It also realized that the Ice Lion King must have used some special magic or treasure to learn a complex language in a short period of time. I think, maybe you still remember it, the leader of the sea monster said uncertainly, frantically recalling the relevant contents of the Ice Lion Law in his mind. Forget it, Bingley, you send a snow fox to teach these sea creatures. Seeing this, Chen Mo spoke, time flies. It has been a week since the subjugation of the Hydra monster and its family, Lion. Day 23. The current Ice Lion Kingdom has begun to enter a stable development. Whether it is the Great Snow Mountain Secret Realm or the cities of the Ice Lion Kingdom, they are all thriving. The Ice Lion Law was quickly promoted and became the law that all creatures in the new era need to abide by. The area of pastures and farms is also expanding. Now the spiritual plants and livestock produced by various cities can not only meet local needs, but also have a large output that can be transported to the Great Snow Mountain Secret Realm. The number of extraordinary creatures and awakeners is increasing, and their strength is getting stronger. Moreover, in this peaceful environment, many extraordinary creatures have begun to reproduce. The birth rate has risen rapidly. Especially the Frost Crane clan. Since the use of the black technology Peach Mushroom, the number of Frost Cranes in the Frost Crane clan, which originally had more than 300 people, has skyrocketed to more than 1,000 in just 1 month. Excluding some single cranes, each family has an average of 10 little frost cranes. Chapter 113 The Limit of the Lord Realm. At the same time, the surrounding areas of the Ice Lion Kingdom are also quietly changing. After hearing about the system and welfare of the Ice Lion Kingdom, many extraordinary creatures and humans in nearby countries want to take the initiative to join it. Obviously, the Ice Lion Kingdom has become a paradise in their minds at this moment. But it is not easy to join the Ice Lion Kingdom. Extraordinary creatures are better, but for most ordinary people, it is not easy to trek hundreds of kilometers or even farther to reach the Ice Lion Kingdom safely. Extraordinary creatures, other humans, and bad weather are huge threats and challenges to them. As a result, the special service of escort came into being. Some awakened people and extraordinary creatures began to act as guards to help people from Congo, Uganda and other countries to the Ice Lion Kingdom, and charge high fees. The ruler of the Ice Lion Kingdom did not pay attention to these trivial matters. Chen Mo lay in front of the magic medicine field, lying down to brush the self-discipline time while practicing the Great Spirit Rain technique. After subduing the Hydra giant snake, he mainly practiced the Great Spirit Rain technique. After all, the Great Spiritual Rain technique can greatly increase the growth rate of spiritual plants and magical medicines, which is very helpful for the improvement of extraordinary levels. Although the Great Spiritual Rain technique only has 6 characters, its difficulty is even higher than the dozens of characters of Heavenly Ice Falling. These 6 spiritual symbols are too complicated, and every mistake will lead to failure. Even with the blessing of Planting Lion and Teaching Lion, Chen Mo practiced for nearly a month before finally approaching success. At this moment, Chen Mo has completed the outline of the first 5 spiritual symbols. When the last stroke of the 6th character was outlined, Chen Mo breathed a sigh of relief. Very cool. This feeling is like solving the last big math problem. In an instant, the 6 spiritual symbols emitted a dazzling blue light, and the spiritual energy within a radius of 1 kilometer quickly gathered, forming a spiritual energy vortex. Unlike the drizzle of the small spiritual rain technique, this time it was a downpour. His Chen Mo also released a little magic vine. The little guy greedily and contentedly absorbed the nutrients from the spiritual rain. The vine stretched out and the body danced involuntarily. Sensing the movement in the spiritual field, the Frost Sheep leader also hurried over and immediately saw the spiritual rain in front of the Ice Lion King. The raindrops containing rich spiritual energy fell on the spiritual field. The magic medicine on the spiritual field actually grew, bloomed, and bore fruit at a speed visible to the naked eye. You know, this is a magic medicine. A magic medicine with an extremely slow growth cycle. Is this the Great Spiritual Rain technique? The Frost Sheep leader was full of shock, but not as shocked and incredible as before. At this moment, in his mind, His Majesty the Lion King is omnipotent. His Majesty is a farming saint and should master the Great Spiritual Rain technique. It is very reasonable. Moreover, since he followed His Majesty's teachings and cultivated the land and planted seedlings every day, he found that his planting level has been greatly improved. Not only has the effect of the small spiritual rain technique been improved, but it can also often cultivate various spiritual plants with special effects. Chen Mo looked at the spiritual field in front of him. When the downpour dissipated, Chen Mo found that 10 magical medicines in the spiritual field had matured. He took a look at the immature magical medicine seedlings. He found that their maturity cycle was directly shortened by 60 days. The small spiritual rain technique can accelerate the growth of spiritual plants by about 6 days at a time, and the catalytic effect of the big spiritual rain technique is even more overbearing, and its effect is 10 times that of the small spiritual rain technique. The blue magic vine has also grown about 3 meters taller, and the liquid spiritual power in the body has also increased by 5 points at once, which is equivalent to the effect of eating 2 first-level magical medicines. Of course, the big spiritual rain technique consumes a lot of spiritual power. Releasing this big spiritual rain technique directly consumed more than 500 liquid spiritual powers of Chen Mo. With a concentration of spiritual energy here in Frost Sheep Mountain, it will take about half a day to fully recover. But it doesn't matter. After mastering the Great Spirit Rain technique, this means that the first-level divine medicine that originally took 200 to 300 days to grow can now mature once a week. The second-level divine medicine that originally took more than 2,000 days to grow can also mature in 2 months. This not only allows this extraordinary level to quickly reach the limit of the Lord. More importantly, it can continuously cultivate batches of Lord-level followers. Chen Mo did not hesitate to eat all the mature first-level divine medicines, and then sowed the seeds again. It only took 3 days for Chen Mo to rely on his own mature divine medicine to make the liquid spiritual power in his body reach 999. The limit of the Lord level. In addition, the effect of Gluttonous Lion Plus has once again reached its limit. At this moment, Chen Mo's body length has reached a terrifying 13 meters and his height is 7 meters. The combat power has reached a terrifying 12,000 points, twice that of ordinary high-level Lord creatures. It has almost reached the limit of Lord-level creatures. If you want to continue to improve your strength, in addition to obtaining a new title, you can only advance to the king level. From the Snow Mastiff King, Chenmo has learned the conditions for promotion to the king realm. There are 3 elements for promotion to the king realm. The first element, 999 liquid spiritual powers accumulated in the ice pill, which is also the most basic condition. The second element, the 3rd level divine medicine. Just like when he was promoted to the Lord before, the promotion to the king also requires the 3rd level divine medicine as a medium to promote the qualitative change of the spiritual power in the ice pill. At this stage, it is impossible to give birth to 3rd level divine medicine in the Great Snow Mountain secret realm. It will take at least half a year to wait for the birth of a 3rd level divine medicine in the Great Snow Mountain secret realm. However, Chenmo has a rough idea in his mind. That is the ice crystal snow lotus behind the sky curtain ice spider. When Chenmo visited the sky curtain ice spider before, he took a look and found that it was a 3rd level divine medicine. For the sky curtain ice spider, this should not be a particularly precious divine medicine. If he makes more food for it, there is still a high probability that he can take it from the sky curtain ice spider. Even this ice crystal snow lotus is left for him. The sky curtain ice spider once asked him to find it when he reached the peak of the Lord, and it would help open the door to the inner world. Chenmo guessed that the sky curtain ice spider most likely wanted him to go to the inner world to help it accomplish something. And this 3rd level magic medicine is likely to be the reward. Chenmo decided to visit this powerful but food-loving guardian next time. The 3rd element of the king's realm is the king's blood. To advance to the king's realm, you need to use the king's blood as a guide to awaken or change your blood, so as to completely improve your life level. If you are a direct descendant of a creature above the king's realm, you can advance as long as you awaken and stimulate the king's blood in your body. But for ordinary creatures, you must use the essence of the king's creatures and forcibly transform your own blood to advance. As a newly rising creature, Chenmo naturally has no king's blood in his body, and there is no way to find the king's blood that suits him. However, for this 3rd element, he already has a bold plan in his mind. Using the fake to cultivate the true, it will not suppress the protagonist's level, and will be promoted to king within 5 chapters. Chapter 114, the 3rd level magic medicine is obtained. Because he had experienced the effect of Lord Lion before, Chenmo knew that the effect of Lord Lion could force a breakthrough in the current realm. There was no 2nd level magic medicine at the beginning, but when he experienced Lord Lion, he still advanced to the Lord level. Although this Lord level is a little different from the real Lord level. Chenmo called it the Pseudo-Lord realm. But this Pseudo-Lord realm is the Lord realm recognized by the panel. At the beginning, he also issued himself a promotion reward. Similarly, with the area of the territory he currently owns, as long as he completes the self-discipline challenge of Lord Lion, he can be promoted to the Pseudo-King realm. By then, his bloodline will be the king's bloodline. As long as he takes the 3rd level magic medicine and the 3 elements are gathered, he can be promoted to the real king realm. Now everything is ready, only the east wind is missing. As long as the 3rd level magic medicine is in place, Chenmo can try to advance. So, Chenmo came to Ice Spider Mountain again. During the month of the Expansion War and the Frost Crane City War, Chenmo was not on the Great Snow Mountain secret realm, so he naturally did not go to Ice Spider Mountain. But he asked the Frost Wolves to bring the food carefully prepared by the chefs to feed every day. Although the Frost Wolves were free, they needed contribution points for everything in the Ice Lion Kingdom, so they finally took the initiative to accept the seemingly high-risk job of feeding the Guardian. The Sky Curtain Ice Spider lived up to its reputation as a foodie. Although it was still in a sleeping state when the Frost Wolves fed it every day, when it went to feed it the next day, the food on the snow had already disappeared. Sensing Chenmo's breath, the sleeping Sky Curtain Ice Spider slowly opened its eyes. What an amazing growth rate! The Sky Curtain Ice Spider sensed the extraordinary level of the Ice Lion King and was a little shocked. For it, a month is almost like taking a nap. Unexpectedly, this little lion has reached the limit of the Lord in just 1 month and touched the barrier of the King realm. Senior, let's eat first, Chenmo said. Compared with before, the food this time seems particularly rich. In addition to various spiritual plants, there are also roast duck, steamed ice carp, Boda jumps over the wall and many other dongsha dishes. And they are all specially made into plus versions. In the process of conquering Tanzania, many talents joined the Ice Lion Kingdom. Among them is a chef from Dongsha. Before the disaster, he won a prize in a world-class food competition. So Chen Mo asked the chef to make a manhunt banquet on the spot. Smelling the aroma of the food, the sky curtain ice spider was not polite and used spider silk to taste the food one by one. When tasting several Chinese dim sum, its pupils dilated. Obviously it had never tasted such delicious food. But soon, it controlled its expression. However, when tasting the osmanthus cake, it couldn't help but dilate its pupils and tremble slightly. Seeing this, Chen Mo couldn't help feeling a little funny. Sure enough, Dongsha food is invincible wherever it is placed. It seems that when the chef from Dongsha prepares food for the sky curtain ice spider, he should prepare more desserts and snacks, Chen Mo thought to himself. He found that the sky curtain ice spider seemed to love sweets. When tasting sweets, the sky curtain ice spider's body would tremble involuntarily because of excitement. Not bad, you are thoughtful. After tasting all the food, the sky curtain ice spider licked its lips, and there was still some aftertaste in its eyes. Obviously, it was very satisfied with this meal. You must have come here to ask me how to break through the king realm? The sky curtain ice spider asked proactively. Chen Mo nodded. Under normal circumstances, breaking through the king realm requires a third-level magic medicine. With a current concentration of spiritual energy, it is not enough to produce a third-level magic medicine. But I happen to have one, little lion, I'll give it to you as a meal money. After saying that, the sky curtain ice spider used spider silk to directly send the ice crystal snow lotus behind it to Chen Mo. The huge ice crystal snow lotus was shining in the sun, emitting colorful light, which was magnificent. Ice crystal snow lotus, a third-level divine medicine, which contains a large amount of ice spiritual power. After consumption, it can help the lord creatures advance to the king realm. Thank you, senior. Chen Mo was a little excited. A third-level divine medicine, now in hand? But if you want to advance to the king realm, the third-level divine medicine alone is not enough. You also need the blood of the king, the sky curtain ice spider said. It's a pity that the race difference between you and me is too big. You can't bear it, otherwise you can use my blood. There used to be quite a few kings and even natural disaster-level winter lion kings in the Ice Phoenix clan, but unfortunately they all died in the God War, but their blood essence is sealed in the Ice Phoenix temple in the inner world. As long as you pass the 10th level trial of the temple, you can choose to obtain the blood essence of the winter lion king. How about it? Do you want to participate in the temple trial? I can help you open the door to the inner world. Coincidentally, I need you to help me complete a task in the inner world. Hearing this, Chen Mo was not surprised. Sure enough, the sky curtain ice spider gave him the spirit of the region before, and now gave him the magic medicine. The purpose is not simple, and it is definitely not as simple as meal money. What is it specifically? I hope you can go to the inner world and help the ancient ice phoenix to revive. The cold voice of the sky curtain ice spider sounded in Chen Mo's mind. Tens of thousands of years ago, His Majesty the Ice Phoenix and an evil god broke out in a divine war. In the end, His Majesty the Ice Phoenix won a tragic victory and completely killed the evil god, but His Majesty the Ice Phoenix also paid a huge price. His body and soul were completely wiped out, and he couldn't even achieve nirvana. Fortunately, His Majesty the Ice Phoenix left a backup plan and left his soul and blood in the temple. As long as you have enough spiritual materials and treasures, you can help His Majesty the Ice Phoenix reshape his divine body and complete the resurrection. This is a great opportunity for you. His Majesty the Ice Phoenix has always rewarded those who have made contributions. As long as you successfully resurrect His Majesty, your future achievements will definitely not be lower than mine. You will even have the opportunity to be promoted to the legendary divine realm. Then why don't you go by yourself, senior? Or let the former family of the Ice Phoenix go? Chen Mo asked in confusion. All of Her Majesty Ice Phoenix's former followers are dead. Before dying, the evil god released a curse based on some rules at the cost of his own life. All creatures related to Her Majesty Ice Phoenix, including her followers and their descendants, have been cursed. All of Her Majesty Ice Phoenix's followers have melted into a pool of blood. Fortunately, this curse cannot cross boundaries. That old turtle and I escaped, but the curse has not disappeared yet. As long as I enter the inner world, I will probably be cursed to death instantly, Sky Curtain Ice Spider said lightly. Is the inner world very dangerous? Otherwise, Senior wouldn't have given me so much help and couldn't wait for me to grow up, right? Chen Mo was still a little worried. Chapter 115, Gluttonous Demonic Vine. Now that nearly 10,000 years have passed, I don't know what the inner world has become, to be honest. With a concentration of spiritual energy in the inner world, There should be many dangers. The strength of the Peak Lord is indeed not enough, but the area connected to this boundary gate is the temple. I can guarantee that at least you will be safe after entering, the Sky Curtain Ice Spider said frankly. Seeing that the Ice Lion King was still unmoved by the pie he painted, the Sky Curtain Ice Spider continued to speak. The temple is the trial place left by the Ice Phoenix for its core clan. As long as you pass the test left by the Ice Phoenix, you can get the corresponding rewards. This includes the Blood of the Natural Disaster level Winter Lion King, which you can get after passing the 10th level of the trial. These are all great opportunities for you. Do you want to try it first? Anyway, if there is any danger, just come back, Senior Ice Spider. I want to try it myself for the time being, Chenmo replied. As you said, the strength of the Lord Realm is not enough in the inner world. I'm afraid that the spiritual materials needed to help Bing Feng reshape his body are not what I can get now. It's better to wait until I become stronger before going. Chenmo was still worried that after he went in, if the Sky Curtain Ice Spider closed the boundary gate, he would be trapped in the inner world. Who knows whether what the Sky Curtain Ice Spider said is true or false? Maybe it just wants to trick him into the inner world. Now the initiative is in his hands. There is no need to take the initiative to take risks. His strength is far from reaching the upper limit. With self-discipline and challenges, he still has a lot of room for growth. It's okay to go to the inner world after he is strong enough. Hearing this, the Sky Curtain Ice Spider nodded, but didn't say much. Since the little lion in front of him doesn't believe in himself, let it hit the wall more. In its opinion, there is no king's blood suitable for the Ice Lion to advance in the outside world. After the little lion has tried many times to no avail, sooner or later he will have to ask it for help. It's not urgent, time flies, and another week has passed in the blink of an eye. During this week, 2 more second-level magic medicines appeared in the secret realm of the Great Snow Mountain. Chenmo gave them to the Little Demon Vine and the Little Black Panther respectively, helping them to advance to the Lord Realm. After being promoted to the Lord, the height of the Little Demon Vine has reached an astonishing 80 meters. The awakened ability is called Crazy Plant. This is a range attack ability that can make plants in a certain area grow rapidly and cause terrible power. In addition, after the Little Demon Vine was promoted, the number of branch vines created increased from 1 to 3. After being irrigated by spiritual rain, these 3 branch vines can instantly grow into a behemoth of more than 60 meters, and can also burst out the combat power of a low-level lord. The Little Black Panther Luna awakened the ability of Ice Wing Charge, which can make the ice wings transformed by ice spiritual power become extremely hard, like a blade, and can instantly cut the enemy in half with a blessing of super fast speed. A very powerful attack ability. Since then, there have been 10 Lord-level existences in the Ice Lion Kingdom. 5 from the Sea Clan. In the entire Africa, except for the Ice Lion Kingdom, no other Lord Realm was born. After all, only the Great Snow Mountain Secret Realm could possibly produce a second-level divine medicine, Lion. Day 29. Early in the morning, Chenmo placed the body of a 3-meter-long gluttonous pig next to the Blue Magic Vine. Little Magic Vine, you don't need to eat meat after this meal. Today is the last day of the Blue Magic Vine, Gluttony Vine Plus, Self-Discipline Challenge. Hearing this, the Blue Magic Vine made an excited sound. Feeling the emotions of the Little Magic Vine, Chenmo couldn't help but think of the days when he was forced to eat vegetables by his parents when he was a child in his previous life. The Blue Magic Vine inserted the thorny vine into the body of the gluttonous pig and began to use the absorb ability to digest and absorb the blood and flesh of the gluttonous pig. Soon, the gluttonous pig was left with only a thin pigskin. Just when the Little Magic Vine was glad that he finally didn't have to eat meat, he suddenly found that some magical changes had occurred in his body. A strong sense of hunger suddenly surged into his heart. The self-discipline challenge of Gluttony Lion Plus has been completed. Now it is in urgent need of nutrition. The meat that it thought was unpalatable before has become delicious in its eyes. Father God, I'm so hungry. The Little Demon Vine conveyed its vague thoughts to Chenmo. Seeing this, Chenmo mobilized the spiritual power in his body and used the Great Spirit Rain technique on the Blue Demon Vine. Since the little guy doesn't like to eat meat, after completing the self-discipline challenge of Gluttony Lion Plus, Chenmo did not intend to continue to force it to eat meat, but used the Great Spirit Rain technique to feed it. The spiritual energy turned into a downpour and poured down, hitting the leaves of the demon vine, making a crackling sound. The Little Demon Vine greedily absorbed every drop of spiritual rain, and all the spiritual rain instantly turned into pure spiritual energy and was absorbed by the roots. Under the effect of Gluttonous Lion Plus, the height of the blue demon vine began to climb again 90 meters, 100 meters. At the same time, the spiritual power in the blue demon vine is also growing. After about an hour, the blue demon vine temporarily stopped growing. At this moment, its main body has reached an astonishing 120 meters in length, with intertwined branches and vines, lush and green, just like the vines in myths and legends. This is not its limit. Chenmo estimated that after the effect of Gluttony Vine Plus reaches its peak, the height of the little magic vine will most likely exceed 200 meters. Thank you, Father God. The blue magic vine naturally understood that the changes in its body were the work of the Father God. Little magic vine, this is the result of your insistence on eating meat every day before. If you want to continue to become stronger, you have to drink another kind of food called cola. Chenmo smiled and fooled and then shared the self-discipline challenge of Fat House Happy Lion with a little magic vine. Okay, Father God, the little magic vine has a simple mind. After hearing that the Father God said that it can become stronger, it decided that no matter how bad this drink called cola is, it will drink it. So Chenmo took out 20 bottles of Pepsi from the cave and poured them all on the land under the blue magic vine, like watering flowers. He had already achieved Coke freedom, and a large amount of Coke was stored in the ice cave. In the Ice Butterfly City, which is closest to the Great Snow Mountain, there is a Coke factory that has not been completely destroyed. Half a month ago, the factory resumed production, and part of it was transported to Lion King Mountain. The little magic vine carefully drank a mouthful of Coke with its roots. The next second, its vines and leaves swayed unconsciously. Originally, the blue magic vine thought that this coffee-colored liquid was as unpalatable as meat. But after tasting it, it instantly fell in love with the taste. The bubbles in the blue magic vine gave it a strange feeling. It tastes good. I love it, the little magic vine said excitedly. Lying down Lion Day 30 Lord Lion Day 82. Finally, it's the last day of lying down Lion. Chenmo practiced the method while lying down. Really lying down in self-discipline 12 noon. After lying down for 12 hours in a row, Chenmo looked at the self-discipline panel. He was actually very curious about the effect of lying flat lion. When the progress bar of the lying flat lion self-discipline challenge reached 100%, a line of blue light words popped up on the self-discipline panel. You have completed the self-discipline challenge, lying flat lion. Green, do you want to equip it? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116 Global Extraordinary Creatures Ranking. After Chenmo selected the equipment, he suddenly found that the spiritual power consumed by releasing the Great Spirit Rain technique was recovering at an astonishing speed. Compared with before, the spiritual power recovery speed increased by about 20 times. When Chenmo stood up, the recovery speed returned to normal. The effect of lying flat lion is that as long as you lie down, you can quickly recover blue. Then, after Chenmo's test, he found that in addition to the effect of recovering blue, lying flat lion also has the effect of recovering blood. As long as you lie down, it is equivalent to having a nanny nursing you crazily. Scars 7 or 8 centimeters deep can be healed in just a dozen seconds, and even some abnormal states such as moderate and dizzy can be cured. The effect of lying flat lion is still very powerful, Chenmo couldn't help thinking in his heart. The effect of lying flat lion has an important effect both in combat and in cultivating spiritual plants. Unfortunately, after completing lying flat lion, the newly refreshed self-discipline challenge made Chenmo a little worried. Undead magic lion, blue, conduct 5 hours of research on undead creatures every day for 3 months. Research 30 different undead creatures in 3 months. Undead magic lion. This title sounds very good, and it is a blue title. But the problem is, whether in the real world or in the 12 secret realms that descended on Blue Star, Chenmo has never heard of the existence of undead creatures. This means that he can't complete this self-discipline challenge at all. Chenmo found the Snow Mastiff King and asked it if he knew the traces of undead creatures. My lord, undead creatures will only be born in places with a strong undead atmosphere. Perhaps large-scale undead creatures will appear in other secret realms, the Snow Mastiff King said. Nonsense. It also knows nothing about the information of other secret realms. Then, Chen Mo asked Wang Long and others, but still didn't get an answer. In addition to Undead Magic Lion, the other two challenges on the self-discipline panel are Architecture Lion, which has been shelved by himself, and Lord Lion, which will take 8 days to complete. If the new self-discipline challenge is refreshed, these 8 days will be wasted. After thinking about it, Chen Mo finally decided to complete the self-discipline challenge of Building Lion first. The self-discipline challenge of Building Lion is to build a lion cave of more than 10 square meters every day, which can accommodate a family of 3 for 1 month. For Chen Mo now, it is naturally easy. 1 week later, Building Lion, Day 7. At noon, Wang Long hurried to Lion King Mountain. Your Majesty the Lion King, I have 3 important intelligences to report to you. Go ahead, I just finished talking to my original leader 1 hour ago, Wang Long said. Isn't the satellite broken? How can you still get in touch with Dongsha? Chen Mo asked with some doubts. Almost when the Great Snow Mountain secret realm descended, the global magnetic field changed drastically, causing most satellites to fail. Countries around the world are basically in a state of loss of contact. Most countries have become isolated islands. Dongsha launched a newly developed satellite this morning, which can operate normally in the current environment, Wang Long replied. As the captain of the Yanlong team, he was the pioneer in exploring the secrets of the Great Snow Mountain. After the Dongsha side restored the signal, they contacted him as soon as possible. Wang Long was a little entangled, whether to tell the Ice Lion King about these things. After thinking about it, he finally decided to confess to the Ice Lion King. Because the information that Dongsha told him was not top secret, even if he told the Ice Lion King, it would not cause any loss of interest to Dongsha. Moreover, some of this information is very important to the current Ice Lion Kingdom. The first intelligence, my former old leader gave me a data on the current extraordinary creatures in the world, and based on the combat power of these extraordinary creatures and the commanding areas, a ranking list was made. Your Majesty, I have printed out the relevant information. As he said, Wang Long took out 3 documents from his backpack. Chen Mo looked at them one by one. The title was written on the cover of the first document, Information Summary of Extraordinary Creatures, Natural Disaster List. First place, Black Abyss Dragon, the guardian of the Black Abyss secret realm, in the form of an oriental dragon, with a body length of more than a kilometer. It once withstood hundreds of nuclear bombs without any damage. The most dangerous existence that has descended into the secret realm. Danger level, world class. Second place, Golden Crow, the guardian of the Golden Crow's Nest secret realm over the Pacific Ocean, with the appearance of a 3-legged golden crow in mythology, and has golden and dazzling golden wings. The surrounding area emits blazing high temperatures, and any creature that approaches it will be burned to ashes. The area beyond a radius of 10,000 meters is an absolute restricted area. Danger level, world class. The first natural disaster list basically records the guardians of various secret realms, a total of 32. Chen Mo also saw the information of the Sky Curtain Giant Spider and the Sky Reaching Turtle, which ranked 18th and 31st respectively. In fact, these rankings do not have much meaning, because humans rarely witness the battle scenes of these beings. Moreover, these are all extraordinary creatures at the natural disaster level, which humans cannot deal with at all. Fortunately, they all seem to be guarding the gate and will not easily leave their own area. The second file records the creatures in the King Realm discovered so far. First place, Black Abyss Unicorn Giant Snake. A powerful creature from the Black Abyss secret realm, with black scales all over its body, about 70 meters long, violent and bloodthirsty by nature. It will attack all creatures it sees, and is extremely dangerous. Before being promoted to the King Realm, it had a fight with a mysterious giant snake. The outcome of both parties is unknown, but the 2 extraordinary creatures are still alive. The last sighting was in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Danger level, world class. Second place, Xiaoyang, the first and so far only King Realm existence in the human race. A fire awakener. Third place, Woodkillin, the first indigenous person to descend on the secret realm Green City Forest, occupying half of the territory of Green City Forest. Possessing the blood of the mythical beast Woodkillin, it has the ability to create a giant forest in an instant. Currently, a cooperation has been reached with Dongsha. Danger level, world class. Fourth place, Three-headed Thunderbird, the regional lord of the Electric Canyon in North America, once destroyed 26 of the latest 6th-generation fighter jets of the United States in an instant. After being hit by dozens of nuclear bombs, he is currently recovering in the Electric Canyon. Danger level, world class. There are only 4 King Realm creatures in total. Are there already King Realm creatures out there? Chenmo was a little surprised. He originally thought that his growth rate was already fast. After all, the efficiency of Gluttonous Lion to digest and absorb divine medicine is several times that of ordinary creatures, plus hundreds of divine medicines, which is enough to make up for the time gap. But he didn't expect that there are already so many King Realm creatures in the world. Sure enough, other extraordinary creatures cannot be underestimated. He has a self-discipline panel, but other extraordinary creatures also have their own adventures. Chapter 117, The Secret Realm of the Pyramid. I didn't expect that there would be a king-level existence among you humans, Chenmo said. Your Majesty, the reason why Major General Xiaoyang was promoted so quickly is because Dongsha has supported him with the whole country's strength. He was originally the king of the special forces and the earliest awakener, Wang Long said. And Dongsha's spiritual energy has recovered a year earlier than Africa. 1 year, no, half a year later, I believe your Majesty will also become a powerful king-level existence. Wang Long's tone was respectful. I hope so, Chenmo replied calmly. Now the 3rd-level magic medicine is in hand. There are still 2 days to complete the self-discipline challenge of Lord Lion. Whether you can be promoted to the king level depends on this. Chenmo continued to read. The 3rd file is the information of the Lord-level creatures. Chenmo saw the relevant information about the Hydra giant snake when he came up. First place, mysterious tentacle giant snake, a powerful snake-like extraordinary existence that appeared in the Indian Ocean. There are many huge tentacles around its neck. It is initially determined that it comes from an undiscovered deep-sea secret realm. Possessing extraordinary wisdom, it established a kingdom on the sea. It once fought with a Lord-level Black Abyss one-horned giant snake. The last time it appeared in the northern Indian Ocean, it instantly killed a mid-level Lord Black Abyss creature. No wonder the Hydra giant snake wants revenge so much. I'm afraid it was defeated in the battle with the Black Abyss one-horned giant snake, so it was forced to leave the West Sea and return to the ruins. Second place, Blazing Tiger King, the native in the Dongsha Flame Mountain secret realm, with the strength of a top lord, has now been subdued by Xiaoyang. Number 92, Ice Lion King, a low-level lord, an extraordinary creature that rose from the African savanna, with super high IQ and learning ability, and occupied one of the snow-capped mountains in the Great Snow Mountain secret realm. Your Majesty, the information about you was provided to the Dongsha military by me more than a month ago. You defeated the Hydra giant snake, so you are naturally the most worthy lord. Seeing that the Ice Lion King was silent, Wang Long touched his bald head and said a little nervously. He was a little worried that the Ice Lion King would be unhappy when he saw his ranking. But unexpectedly, the Ice Lion King's eyes were quite calm. It's okay, it's good now. Chenmo didn't like meaningless high profile. This kind of ranking is meaningless, only one's own strength is fundamental. You didn't report the situation of the Ice Lion Kingdom to the Dongsha military, did you? Chenmo suddenly asked. I said some irrelevant information, but I didn't disclose the information about your Majesty and the specific situation of the Ice Lion Kingdom, Wang Long said hurriedly. But I don't think I can hide it for long. Other African countries have information about you in the Ice Lion Kingdom. It doesn't matter, you don't need to hide it, just report it truthfully. Chenmo didn't care. He and Dongsha are far apart, and there is no direct conflict of interest. If Wang Long can be used as a middleman to share intelligence, it would be a good choice. Okay, Your Majesty. Hearing this, Wang Long was relieved. What about the other 2 intelligence? Chenmo nodded and asked curiously. The second piece of information is about the Black Abyss secret realm. The expansion speed of the Black Abyss secret realm is alarming. The black water has now spread to half of the Indian Ocean, and the Black Abyss creatures are all over the world. The ocean has become extremely dangerous now, and most sea areas are infested with Black Abyss creatures. Wang Long's tone was bitter. The spread of the Black Abyss and the proliferation of Black Abyss creatures meant that he could no longer return to Dongsha by sea. If he took the land route, in addition to the long journey, he would have to cross 2 ancient secret realms in the middle, and there was a high probability of encountering great danger. Only after being promoted to the Lord Realm can he guarantee his own safety. And according to the current situation, the situation will only get worse. He must be promoted to the Lord as soon as possible. The only good news is that after the military signal is repaired, he and his wife and parents can communicate by phone from time to time. Your Majesty, in addition, Donksha's satellite has captured the Black Abyss one-horned giant snake, which ranks first in the King Realm creature ranking, appearing in the northern waters of the Indian Ocean. From the direction it is heading and its moving trajectory, this Black Abyss giant snake is likely to target the African continent. If one day it really lands on the African continent, I'm afraid the entire African continent will become a purgatory, Wang Long said in a serious tone. In front of the King Realm Black Abyss creature, the creatures of the entire African continent are nothing more than its food. Hearing this, Chen Mo roughly guessed that this Black Abyss one-horned giant snake was most likely coming for the Hydra giant snake. The two giant snakes once fought to a 50-50 draw. After the Black Abyss one-horned giant snake completes its promotion, there is a high probability that it will come for revenge. If Chen Mo puts himself in the perspective of the Black Abyss one-horned giant snake, he will probably do the same. While he has just broken through and his combat power has become stronger, eliminate the hidden dangers in advance. Chen Mo glanced at the approximate location of the Black Abyss giant snake. He breathed a sigh of relief. Even if the direction of this Black Abyss giant snake is correct, it will take at least 4 or 5 days to reach the sea near Shuang City. In 2 days, the self-discipline challenge of Lord Lion will soon be completed, and then his strength may usher in a qualitative change. If he advances to the King Realm, or even the Intermediate King. Otherwise, even if this Black Abyss one-horned giant snake does not look for it, he will take the initiative to hunt this giant snake. In addition to its flesh and blood and demon pills, the more important thing is to eliminate hidden dangers. I know. Please help me pay more attention to the information about this Black Abyss one-horned giant snake, Chen Mo said calmly. Your Majesty, don't worry. This is information about the safety of the entire African continent, and I will definitely not conceal it. At present, Dongsha's satellites are also tracking the movements of this Black Abyss giant snake day and night. If it really comes to Africa, please be prepared, Your Majesty. I'm afraid that only the Great Snow Mountain Secret Realm can guarantee safety at that time. Wang Long lowered his head and said in a heavy tone. I know. What about another piece of information? Chen Mo asked. The last piece of information is the advent of a new secret realm. Wang Long took a deep breath and then said, late last night, a new ancient secret realm appeared in Egypt. Hundreds of huge pyramids appeared out of thin air above the desert. Each of these pyramids is more than 1,000 meters high. Very spectacular, Wang Long said, and handed the printed picture to the Ice Lion King. The picture shows endless giant pyramids, and the material used to build these pyramids should be metal. Some pyramids are like gold castings, emitting dazzling light, while others are like black iron forgings, looking plain and unpretentious. What is the attribute of this secret realm? Chen Mo asked. He had a vague expectation in his heart. The pyramids and the undead have some connection. It would be great if it is the undead system. Chapter 118, The Expedition to Egypt. Your Majesty, it is most likely from the undead realm, Wang Long replied. Since the appearance of the phantom in the secret realm, many strange things have happened all over Egypt. An 80-year-old woman revived strangely after her death. Many scarabs have emerged from the bottom of the original pyramid. Many skeletons, ghosts and spirits have frequently appeared in the cemetery. Hearing this, Chen Mo was ecstatic. It really is from the undead realm. This pyramid's secret realm came at the right time. His undead magic lion self-discipline challenge has been settled. Sure enough, the self-discipline challenges that appear on the self-discipline panel will not be completely impossible for him to achieve. In other words, the self-discipline challenges refreshed on the self-discipline challenge panel are likely to be refreshed based on his current situation and the surrounding environment. For example, when he was just reborn as a lion, the self-discipline panel refreshed Rampage Lion and Raging Lion that could speed up his speed and repair his leg injury. Later self-discipline challenges such as Lord Lion and Fat House Happy Lion will only appear after he is able to complete them. It will probably take more than a month before the secret realm officially descends. Before that, I just need to complete the Architecture Lion. I see. The information you brought this time is very important. Each one can be exchanged for 2,000 contribution points. Go find Bingley to exchange, Chen Mo said calmly. The information Wang Long brought to him was very important. Whether it was the news of the pyramid's secret realm's arrival or the movements of the Black Abyss unicorn snake, Although he would know this information sooner or later, knowing it in advance would allow him to make a lot of arrangements. Thank you, Your Majesty. Hearing this, Wang Long couldn't help but feel a little excited. Now his most urgent thing is to advance to the Lord Realm. And a few days ago, he saw that the official store of the Ice Lion Kingdom actually started selling second-level magic medicine. This means that the Ice Lion Kingdom already has the ability to mass-produce second-level magic medicine. While Wang Long felt incredible, he also felt that this was his chance to advance to the Lord level. Although the price was as high as 20,000 points, it was definitely worth the money. And now these 6,000 contribution points are close to the value of 1/3 of a second-level magic medicine. If you have similar information in the future, remember to tell me as soon as possible. The Ice Lion Kingdom can establish a cooperative relationship with Dongsha to exchange intelligence information, Chen Mo said. He did not ask Wang Long to betray Dongsha. As a soldier of Dongsha, and with an upright character, it would be difficult for him to betray his motherland. Moreover, there was no conflict between the Ice Lion Kingdom and Dongsha, and establishing a cooperative relationship for information exchange was also a win-win situation for both parties. Your Majesty, praise your kindness and wisdom, Wang Long said gratefully. Now he needs to earn contribution points as soon as possible to exchange for the second-level magic medicine, and the information from Dongsha is an important way. After Wang Long left, Chen Mo called Bingley, Xiongba, Bink and the leader of the Frost Hounds. A new ancient secret realm has appeared in Egypt. Although it has not yet completely arrived, it should be affected by its radiation. Many awakened creatures and undead spiritual plants will appear around it. Through the spiritual ice silk, Chen Mo's voice rang in the hearts of the 5 extraordinary creatures. As the vanguard, you should first occupy all the areas around the pyramid's secret realm. With the current military strength and combat power of the Ice Lion Kingdom, it is completely possible to conquer another country. 2 months ago, the spiritual energy of the African continent fully recovered. Egypt is no exception. Although the spiritual energy of Egypt is far inferior to that of the Great Snow Mountain secret realm, it still gave birth to many low-level extraordinary creatures, and naturally there were constant battles and deaths during this period. Moreover, most areas of Egypt have suffered from rat infestations and beast tides. Except for the capital and surrounding areas, other cities have become a paradise for extraordinary creatures. After the advent of the pyramid's secret realm, many dead creatures have revived again. Most of them did not retain their wisdom before their death, but they have the characteristics of being difficult to kill. This made Egypt, which was already in a precarious situation, even worse. However, after the advent of the pyramid's secret realm, the awakened people in Egypt are expected to have some ideas about it. In this regard, Chen Mo only wants to say, the pyramid's secret realm is too dangerous. You can't control it, so let me do it. Yes, Your Majesty, the leader of the Snow Fox, the Frost Lion Tyrant and the leader of the Frost Hound said in unison. Their eyes were full of enthusiasm and excitement. After more than a month, the Ice Lion Corps is finally going to go out again. Your Majesty the Lion King, are there any contribution points rewards? The most excited one is the Ice Bird. Since seeing the Phoenix Spirit Wutong Leaf here at the Ice Lion King last time, it has taken its little brothers to other countries to subdue extraordinary creatures or human awakeners. However, the spiritual energy in these areas has not yet fully recovered, and there are very few high-level extraordinary creatures. The Ice Bird went out early and came back late every day, and after working hard for more than half a month, it barely collected 1,800 contribution points. It is still a long way from 10,000 contribution points. Now the opportunity has finally come. Of course, looking at the impatient little Ice Bird, Chen Mo felt that the chosen working bird was indeed worthy of the name. In addition, you select a group of voluntary and unawakened extraordinary humans and ordinary mortals from each race to go near the secret realm to see if they can awaken the undead system, Chen Mo continued. Now that the secret realm has not yet completely arrived, he does not need to go out in person, as long as he has a general control of the situation. Finally, you should pay attention to some special spiritual plants, magical medicines and minerals. You can build several experimental farms around the pyramid's secret realm. Yes, sir. After arranging all this, Chen Mo set off for Frost Crane City. It will take at least a month for the pyramid's secret realm to officially arrive, so there is no rush. Right now, the most important thing is to deal with the Black Abyss one-horned giant snake. Chen Mo decided to go to the Hydra giant snake to ask for relevant information first. Only by knowing yourself and the enemy can you win every battle. Chen Mo's speed is very fast now. He has arrived in less than half an hour after traveling hundreds of kilometers. On the coast of Frost Crane City, Chen Mo roared like a lion. Soon, the leader of the Siren clan, Siren, swam quickly. "Your Majesty, is there anything you can do for me?" Siren said respectfully with half of her body hidden in the sea water. "Where is Hydra, Your Majesty? The sea god should not have heard your call." "I will call it for you," Siren said a little nervously. The Hydra giant snake was sleeping in the deep sea. Since the defeat, it has been completely ruined. After being awakened by the leader of the sea monsters, the Hydra giant snake came to the Ice Lion King unwillingly. "Hydra, your former opponent, the Black Abyss giant snake, is now approaching this sea area quickly, and it should be coming for you, and it has already advanced to the King realm," Chen Mo said straight to the point. Hearing this, the golden pupils of the Hydra giant snake shrank. That Black Abyss giant python has grown so fast. And it just broke through and is coming to trouble me. Chapter 119, Lord Lion, completed. "Lion King, where did you get the news?" Hydra snake asked anxiously. "You just need to know that the news is reliable," Chen Mo replied. "Lion King, if you are worried about the threat brought by the Black Abyss serpent, you can cancel the contract at any time. I will take the Gixu clan away," Hydra snake said. The dominance of the clan contract is completely in Chen Mo's hands. He thinks that the Ice Lion King came to it this time and told it this news, probably to expel it. "No need, since you have become my clan, then this sea area is my territory. I won't let other creatures invade here," Chen Mo said calmly. After being reborn as a lion, his personality has gradually changed. Male lions do not allow other creatures to invade their territory unless they are defeated or killed in battle. "Lion King, the gap between the King realm and the Lord realm is even greater than the gap between the Lord and the extraordinary. Even if you and I join forces, there is no chance of winning." Hearing this, Hydra snake was somewhat moved. Facing an unprecedentedly powerful enemy, the Ice Lion King did not even think of expelling it directly. Instead, he wanted to fight the Black Abyss unicorn python. If it comes here and senses the breath of other ancient secret realms, it will definitely come to occupy your secret realm. At that time, all creatures on the grassland will be eroded by the Black Abyss. You just need to tell me the weaknesses and information about the Black Abyss unicorn python." Looking at the confidence revealed in the ice-blue pupils of the Lion King, the Hydra giant snake slowly said, "I don't know much about the Black Abyss unicorn python. I only know that it is completely different from other Black Abyss creatures. It looks cruel and tyrannical, but in fact it has a very stable character. When it invaded the West Sea Gixu, I was evenly matched with it, but halfway through the battle, it took the initiative to retreat. Lion King, if you have any trump card that can briefly burst out the strength of the King realm, you might be able to scare it away." Chen Mo nodded. "Do you know the abilities it possesses?" The Hydra snake nodded. "As far as I know, the abilities that the Black Abyss unicorn possesses include Black Abyss Devouring, Shadow Devouring Ball, Black Death Light, Black Abyss Vortex. Among them, Black Death Light is its most powerful ability. It can spit out extremely destructive beams of light from its mouth at a very fast speed. Black Abyss Voiding is its defensive ability. It can instantly turn its body into black water to void damage. It is difficult for physical attacks to cause damage to it." The Hydra snake told the Ice Lion King everything it knew. But it still had a pessimistic attitude towards the upcoming battle. Although the Ice Lion King in front of it had enough courage and confidence, it had no idea what it was facing. "I know, you just continue to live here. I will come to see you again in 2 days." After receiving the information from the unicorn Black Abyss snake, Chen Mo left. Looking at the back of the Ice Lion King leaving, the Hydra snake sighed. If his surrender before was just to save his life, then now, he is really convinced. Unfortunately, if the Black Abyss serpent was really coming for it, perhaps leaving now would be the most correct choice. But thinking that the Lion King could make a careful plan to defeat him, he must not be a brainless lion. Hydra's heart was vaguely looking forward to it. Then wait for 2 more days, time flies. 2 days later, Lord Lion, Day 90. In the early morning, Chen Mo went to the original Uganda area and occupied 100 square kilometers of land at a very fast speed. This was originally the place he prepared for himself to brush the Lord Lion Self-Discipline Challenge. You have completed the Self-Discipline Challenge, Lord Lion. Blue, do you want to equip it? Chen Mo chose to equip it without hesitation. He has been waiting for this day for a long time. Whether he can rely on Lord Lion to advance to the king, success or failure depends on this. When he equipped Lord Lion, Shenmo felt that he had a special connection with the land under his feet. His perspective extended infinitely, just like when he became the master of the Great Snow Mountain, Tanzania, Kenya, and even the sea area occupied by the Hydra giant snake. After the sea area occupied by the Hydra giant snake, Shenmo soon felt the dark sea area on the other side. There was almost no light here, but Shenmo could feel countless violent and evil creatures, and even in the center there were several black-scaled giant snakes with a length of dozens of meters. These are all black abyss creatures? When did I have such a territory? Shenmo was stunned for a moment. Then he suddenly realized that this should be the territory of the Hydra giant snake. That is, the former Zahagiksa secret realm. Although the secret realm was occupied by the black abyss creatures, the lord of this secret realm is still the Hydra giant snake. It's just that after the secret realm was infected by black water, it was no longer suitable for ordinary creatures to live, so the Hydra giant snake was forced to migrate. This is also a pleasant surprise. Soon, Shenmo had a full view of all the territories. Then he clearly felt countless milky white ground veins power emerging from these lands. These ground veins power rushed to it at an astonishing speed across countless distances, and then merged into his body. After these ground veins power merged into Shenmo's body, countless spiritual powers similar to liquid ice spiritual power were simulated. Shenmo was already familiar with this feeling. It was similar when he used the experience card before. The effect of the Lord Lion is that every 100 square kilometers of territory can be transformed into one liquid spiritual power. In the end, the ground vein power simulated a total of 23,200 liquid spiritual powers. This means that Shenmo now has a terrifying territory area of 2.32 million square kilometers. Among them, the land area is about 1.6 million square kilometers, which means that the ocean territory area is only 720,000 square kilometers. This is a little smaller than Shenmo expected. The Hydra giant snake is not very powerful. In addition to the West Sea Giksa secret realm, it is only 720,000 square kilometers. Then, more than 20,000 liquid spiritual powers transformed from ground vein energy in Shenmo's body rushed into Bingdon. Logically speaking, this amount of liquid spiritual power has far exceeded the limit of the Lord Realm. You should know that it only takes 1,000 liquid spiritual powers to advance to the King Realm, and even to advance to the middle level of the King, it only takes 10,000 liquid spiritual powers. In the blink of an eye, the ice pill was like overwhelmed and broke directly. Pain. Incomparable pain. Shenmo swallowed the ice crystal snow lotus without hesitation. The icy and cool ice crystal snow lotus entered his stomach, slightly relieving the burning pain in his body. Soon, Shenmo felt that the terrifying huge spiritual power in his body began to gather, compress, and condense under the catalysis of some magical power, as if it was about to turn into a more powerful energy form. Then these compressed liquid spiritual powers were perfectly integrated into his blood, bones, and muscles. The severe pain made Shenmo feel that he would faint at any time. And under the stimulation of spiritual power, his blood was also undergoing some amazing and unknown changes. Chapter 120 Bloodline Tracing, Evolution of Swami. Then, countless images suddenly appeared in Shenmo's mind, a lion with the golden flames all over its body running wildly in the boundless lava land, with flames rising between its claws and its mane burning like a dazzling sun. The Frost Lion King, who was over 10 meters tall and covered with ice armor, waved his huge claws and directly slapped the huge white bear to death. The Purple Lightning Mad Lion, bathing in the endless sea of thunder and swallowing lightning, and the Shocking Lion, whose tail was like waves and water, raising huge waves in the sea. These are all extraordinary creatures in the King Realm. The images I am watching now are all memories engraved in the genes and blood of all lions. Shenmo realized something. The extraordinary giant lions he saw now were all the former strong men of the Lion clan. Although his original bloodline was just an ordinary lion, it could be traced back hundreds and thousands of generations, back to the era when spiritual energy was abundant. Its ancestors were also extraordinary creatures, even kings. In fact, every creature has the blood of a king or even more noble blood. After all, whose ancestors haven't been rich? But after hundreds or even thousands of generations of dilution, these king bloods have long been thinned to the point of being almost non-existent. And the process he's going through now is blood tracing. Stimulate the ancestral blood hidden deep in the blood, which is so thin that it is difficult to be found. Under the stimulation of extremely powerful spiritual power and the stimulation of the third-level magic medicine ice crystal snow lotus, the blood in Chenmo's body was awakened, and traces of their former existence were seen. Chenmo felt something in his heart. At this moment, he could choose one of the giant lions in the king realm and refine the blood in his body in its direction, thus achieving the king realm. However, the picture in his mind continued to flash, and he was still tracing back to an even older bloodline. The extraordinary giant lion that appeared in Chenmo's mind was even more terrifying. The golden giant lion that looked like it was cast in gold, the earth lion king with a body as big as a mountain, and the nine-headed lion king with 9 heads. These are all natural disasters, and even existences above natural disasters. The tracing of bloodlines has not stopped yet. The next second, Chenmo saw a giant lion that was tens of thousands of meters tall, with 2 horns on its head and flowing hair, like a god. It stood in a wild land, and the surrounding mountains were not even as high as its calves. Suanli. Chenmo couldn't help but think of the name of this mythical creature. This is a powerful existence in the realm of gods. Boom. In the picture, Suanli spewed out a beam of light that was like a world-destroying light from its mouth, penetrating the body of an equally huge purple flying centipede. And beside Suanli, the figures of mythical beasts such as the fire phoenix and the azure dragon flashed by. The battle of gods. The picture stopped here. The Swanee seemed to sense Chenmo's gaze, and a trace of approval flashed in its sacred golden eyes. I didn't expect that my descendants after tens of thousands of years could still sense my blood. In that case, I will give you my inheritance, the Swanee roared, and then turned into a golden ocean, completely enveloping Chenmo's consciousness. In the real world, Chenmo closed his eyes tightly. The spiritual pressure around him had reached an extremely terrifying level. The original snow was pressed into a thin layer, and the land within a radius of 100 meters was sunken several meters downward. The next second, Chenmo opened his eyes. The originally ice blue pupils turned into pure and dazzling gold. He felt that the blood in his body was boiling at this moment, and the originally bright red blood actually had a touch of gold. At the same time, the spiritual energy of the entire snow mountain swarmed towards Chenmo, forming an ice blue spiritual power vortex with a radius of dozens of kilometers. The picture of the scene was extremely shocking, and almost all the creatures in the snow mountain could see it. Sensing the huge movement coming from the Lion King Snow Mountain, countless families in the Great Snow Mountain bowed down and worshipped. Your Majesty, is he going to be promoted to the King Realm? The Ice Ghost leader couldn't help thinking in his heart. The legendary King Realm exists, which is a realm that only the most talented beings in their race can reach. Moreover, those king realms have practiced in the inner world with abundant spiritual energy for hundreds or even thousands of years to become kings, which is almost incomparable to the Ice Lion King. Wang Long was shocked to the point of losing his mind when he saw the huge spiritual energy cyclone. Last night, he got information from Dongsha that the Black Abyss Python was only 2,000 kilometers away from the east coast of Africa. Its route is likely to be Africa. Originally, Wang Long was very worried and anxious. But now that he saw the Lion King promoted to the king, he suddenly felt a sense of relief. Thinking of the Ice Lion King's previous calm expression, it seemed that it had been prepared for a long time. Ice Spider Mountain. The Sky Curtain Ice Spider also woke up from its slumber, and felt the huge spiritual power fluctuations from the Lion King Mountain. Its 8 ice blue pupils showed disbelief. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. It didn't know where the little lion got the blood of the king in just a few days. But in this case, it would be even more difficult to get the cautious little lion to go to the other world. Damn it, if I had known this, I would not have given it the ice crystal snow lotus so early. The feeling of the Sky Curtain Ice Spider at this moment was very regretful, very regretful. The spiritual energy vortex lasted for a full hour. When all the changes were over, Chenmo woke up completely from the spiritual world, and he found that the blood in his body had turned golden. There was a powerful energy hidden in every drop of blood. The real blood of the king. Chenmo can now seal his spiritual consciousness in the blood of the king, and achieve a rebirth in a shell like the Frost Wolf King. However, this method of rebirth has a big flaw, because the soul and the body are not completely matched, and the combat power and potential will be greatly affected. At the same time, the spirit and memory after rebirth are not complete. Chenmo condensed the ice spirit power and made an ice mirror to observe his current appearance. This evolution, his body shape did not change much, but only grew from 15 meters to about 20 meters. But his appearance has undergone a drastic change. First of all, his pupils changed from ice blue to pure gold, becoming more majestic and domineering, like a god. The ice armor on his body has disappeared, and has turned into long snow-white hair, which actually has a sense of elegance. In addition, he found that 2 small horns had grown on his head. No wonder he felt itchy on his head after his promotion. These 2 small horns are engraved with profound and mysterious runes, which can speed up the speed of releasing magic. Chen Mo feels that he is now 70% similar to the Swani he saw in the spiritual world. Or it is not an exaggeration to say that he is a young version of Swani. Majestic, mysterious, and noble. At this moment, he really looks like a creature from mythology. There is another chapter that will be a little late, and I am still coding. Chapter 121, Totem Lion. In addition to the changes in appearance, Chen Mo's body also underwent significant changes. Although the ice pill was broken, the spiritual power had been integrated into his flesh and blood, which made Chen Mo's physical strength a qualitative leap. Every casual attack would carry the power of powerful spiritual power. At the same time, the speed at which he released the magic became faster. With the increase in the horn on his head, he could now instantly cast difficult magic like Heavenly Ice Drop. You should know that the pre-swing of releasing Heavenly Ice Drop before took a full 5 seconds. Chen Mo was very satisfied with the changes that had taken place in his body. This wave of advancement to the king's realm can be said to be a return to the ancestors, but it is different from a return to the ancestors. This is because he found the first trace of blood himself, and then forcibly refined all the blood in his body into the blood of the Swani. Since there is no king's blood, then it is better to refine himself into the blood of the king. Chen Mo has never felt unprecedented power. With a light jump, his figure appeared 1,000 meters away. When he landed, the land under his feet seemed to have been bombed by a missile and exploded. So strong. Is this the king realm? I am so strong now. Apart from the guardian, Chen Mo feels that he may be the most powerful being on the blue planet. With a thought, his information appeared in front of him. Swani, male, level, intermediate king, constitution. 4,860, agility. 4,200, strength. 4,187, soul. 4,120, abilities, Ice Storm, Ice Illusion, Ice Wind Roar, Frostfall, Small Spirit Rain, Mysterious Ice Claw, Frost Condensation, Wild Revival, Suani Body Forging, Suani Meditation, True Spirit 9 Transformations, Demon Suppression, Stopping War, Comprehensive Combat Power. 82,148 108,230. The highest comprehensive combat power has increased by more than 10 times. This does not mean that Chen Mo's strength has only increased by 10 times. Now he can single out countless versions of himself before the promotion. Creatures below the king do not even have the qualifications to challenge him. They are not creatures of the same level at all. After being promoted to the king, Chen Mo gained 5 new abilities at once. 2 of them were the abilities he awakened after being promoted to the king and the middle level of the king. Demon Suppression, and Stop War. Although they are awakened abilities, the effects of these 2 abilities are very abnormal. Even more powerful than most of the ancient and powerful spells. Demon Suppression, suppress all demons and monsters. This is a domain type ability with a very large range. After being promoted to the king, the main battlefield of the leader completely transformed into the king's domain. The Demon Suppression domain awakened by Chen Mo is the exclusive domain of Swani. As the domain of mythical creatures, although the demon suppression has only the simplest suppression effect, the effect is extremely terrifying. In addition to the body being unable to move, the spirit and spiritual power in the body of the suppressed person will also be completely suppressed. Once suppressed, no ability can be used. In addition, the more exaggerated point is that the judgment of demons and monsters is determined by Swani, that is, whoever Chen Mo thinks is a demon, then whoever is suppressed is the object. Of course. This domain has a great amplification effect on real evil demons. Stop the war, calm the fighting. This is also a domain type ability. It can even be said to be a rule type ability. All fighting is prohibited within a radius of 100 meters, and those who violate it will be punished by heaven. Of course, the prohibited objects do not include oneself. At the same time, Stop the War can also eliminate the opponent's attack and make it invalid. There are 3 other abilities that come from the bloodline inheritance of Suani. Suani Tempering Technique, Suani Visualization Method, True Spirit 9 Transformations, Suani Tempering Technique, and Suani Visualization Method, are both methods for the Suani clan to exercise their bodies and spirits. It can greatly improve physical fitness and soul power. True Spirit 9 Transformations is a special method of transforming spiritual power. Using True Spirit 9 Transformations, Chenmo can transform the ice spiritual power in his body into spiritual power of any attribute. In addition, he can sense and absorb spiritual power of other attributes, and can learn abilities and methods of other attributes. After awakening the blood of Suani, Chenmo is no longer an ordinary ice-type extraordinary giant lion, but a true mythical bloodline. After slightly feeling the majestic power in his body, Chenmo looked at the family members around him. When he broke through, Elsa, the ice ghost leader, and other extraordinary creatures guarded him. "Brother, have you broken through again?" Looking at the giant lion in front of her, which had undergone a huge change in appearance and looked like a mythical creature, Sister Lion's eyes were full of excitement and surprise. Although it longed to catch up with its brother one day, it hoped that its brother would continue to become stronger. Chenmo nodded. "I have successfully broken through the King Realm. To celebrate, all creatures on the Great Snow Mountain will have a day off today." The voice of the Ice Lion King's coercion sounded in the minds of every extraordinary leader within a few hundred meters. After being promoted to the king, Chenmo no longer needed to communicate with the ice silkworm Silk to establish a spiritual connection with other creatures. This should be an ability that comes with being promoted to the King Realm. Just like the Lord's coercion and the King's domain. "Congratulations, Your Majesty, for breaking through the King Realm." Upon hearing this, the beasts congratulated one after another. The breakthrough of the Ice Lion King made the extraordinary leaders of the Ice Lion Kingdom feel joy and excitement from the bottom of their hearts. The stronger the Ice Lion King is, the safer and more stable the Ice Lion Kingdom will be. As a member of the Ice Lion Kingdom, they all have a sense of sharing the glory at this moment. "You go back first." Hearing the voice of the Ice Lion King, the beasts retreated. Let's take a look at the rewards after the promotion and the newly refreshed self-discipline challenge first. After the beasts retreated, Chenmo began to check the self-discipline panel. Directly promoted from the Lord Realm to the Intermediate King Realm. A lot of information appeared on the self-discipline panel. Self-discipline shared objects +2. Self-discipline shared objects acceptable challenges +2. Secondary self-discipline shared objects +10. Self-discipline title predictive card +1. Self-discipline quality improvement card, blue. Super self-discipline card, blue, X3. Promotion to King and King Intermediate level gave him a lot of props. Among them, the effect of self-discipline title preview card is to check the effect of the self-discipline title in advance. And it is permanently effective. Chenmo used it without hesitation. Then he checked the effect of Undead Mage Lion, blue, title effect. 1. Can transform itself into an undead form. 2. The comprehension of learning undead spells is increased by 100%. 3. Possessing the leadership temperament of the undead clan, it is easier to make undead creatures surrender. Just transforming into an undead form is very powerful, and it can also make me have the temperament of an undead leader. I wonder if I can form an undead army in the future, Chenmo thought to himself. If he had known that the secret realm of the pyramid was coming, he would have chosen Undead Mage Lion. Unfortunately, now only after completing Architecture Lion, can the self-discipline challenge of Undead Mage Lion begin. Then Chenmo checked the newly refreshed self-discipline challenge. The newly refreshed self-discipline challenge is called Totem Lion, blue. Chapter 122, The Sky Curtain Ice Spider's Shock. Totem Lion, blue, self-discipline challenge, develop 100 believers every day, regard you as a spiritual belief, and pray to you sincerely for more than 2 hours. Title effect. 1. Blessing give your believers power, so that their extraordinary level can be temporarily improved. 2. Descend to the believers for a short time, level 3 believers and above 3, become a god through faith. A faith gained will enhance your spiritual power. Chenmo feels that this title is also very strong. It follows the root of, become a god through faith, which can continuously enhance spiritual power through faith. Moreover, the two abilities, descend, and strengthen, are also very practical. The difficulty of the Totem Lion self-discipline challenge is not high. Chenmo plans to build a Suani temple in each area of the Great Snow Mountain and the Ice Lion Kingdom. It should be completed In addition to the Self-Discipline Title Prediction card, there are 3 Self-Discipline Quality Improvement cards, blue, as panel rewards for advancing to the King Realm. This is an upgraded version of the previous Self-Discipline Quality Improvement card, green, which can upgrade the green title obtained to blue. After being promoted to the King, it is estimated that the Self-Discipline panel will rarely refresh the green quality Self-Discipline challenge. Chenmo did not hesitate and prepared to use all 3 Self-Discipline Quality Improvement cards to improve his combat power. Gluttonous Lion Plus must be upgraded, which can not only improve his digestion rate, but also greatly improve his physical fitness. In addition, the green titles of Farming Lion, Fishing Lion, Lying Lion, and Roaring Lion Plus made Chenmo a little entangled. After thinking about it, Chenmo finally decided to upgrade Farming Lion and Lying Lion. Although Farming Lion cannot directly improve his combat power, it can improve his farming level and better cultivate mutant spiritual plants and high-level magic medicines. After the upgrade of Lying Lion, it is believed that the effect of recovering blood and mana can be further improved. Maybe as long as he lies down, he can release magic continuously, and with strong defense and recovery capabilities, he will become a real perpetual motion lion, which is enough to make opponents of the same level feel desperate. After confirmation, Chenmo upgraded these 3 titles. Gluttonous Lion Plus became Teodi Lion, blue. In addition to inheriting the effect of Gluttonous Lion Plus, that eating meat can make you stronger, Teodi Lion really eats whatever you want. Or, soil, flowers, plants and trees have all become his recipes. Truly everything can be eaten. Farming Lion became Shenan Lion, blue. After the promotion, the effects of all farming-related spells have been improved. For example, the catalytic effect of the Great Spirit Rain spell has been greatly improved, from 60 days to 90 days at a time. In addition, Shenan Lion also increased Chenmo's probability of cultivating plant mutations and gained the effect of immunity to most poisons. Lying Flat Lion became Lying Flat Lion Plus, blue. After lying flat, compared with Lying Flat Lion, the speed of recovering health and mana has increased by about 3 times. After the title was upgraded, Chenmo found that his highest comprehensive combat power had exceeded 110,000. So terrifying. Self-Discipline Title Predictive card and Self-Discipline Quality Improvement card are both panel rewards after advancing to the King Realm. The panel reward after advancing to the middle level of the King is 3 Super Self-Discipline cards, blue. The effect is the same as the previous Super Self-Discipline card, green. The self-discipline time is shortened by half and the strength is doubled. But it can work on blue quality and below entries. Looking at the half-completed Architecture Lion Self-Discipline Challenge, Chenmo really wanted to use one, finish it quickly, and then start the Self-Discipline Challenge of Totem Lion, or Undead Mage Lion. But in the end he held back. Super Self-Discipline card can only shorten the time by 15 days for the green Self-Discipline Challenge, which is still too much. The day after being promoted to the King, Chenmo received a message. The message came from the Frost Wolf who was responsible for feeding the Sky Curtain Ice Spider. The Sky Curtain Ice Spider asked him to go to the Ice Spider Mountain, and there were some things that needed to be communicated with him. It should be that after knowing that I have been promoted to the King, they want to trick me into going to the other world. Although Chenmo already knew the purpose of the Sky Curtain Ice Spider, he still decided to take a look. He was looking forward to seeing the Sky Curtain Ice Spider's expression. At that time, it was sure that it could not be promoted to the King Realm. Chenmo trotted all the way and soon arrived at the Ice Spider Mountain. At the foot of the mountain, Chenmo saw the huge figure of the Sky Curtain Ice Spider and then began to observe it. This time, after observing for about half a minute, Chenmo finally got the extraordinary level information of the Sky Curtain Ice Spider. Sky Curtain Ice Spider, level, totem. Except for the extraordinary level, all other information is still question marks. In the process of advancing to the King, Chenmo saw the strong men in the extraordinary Lion clan through blood tracing. He knew that the level above the King was called the Natural Disaster level. Above the Natural Disaster is the Legend, above the Legend is the Totem Realm, and above the Totem is the True Spirit, that is, the Spirit Realm. Chenmo did not expect that the strength of the Sky Curtain Ice Spider was so terrifying. While Chenmo was observing the Sky Curtain Ice Spider, the Sky Curtain Ice Spider also looked at Chenmo the first time it saw Chenmo. The sky curtain ice spider's pupils shrank. This is Swanee, a mythical creature of the same level as the ancient ice phoenix. The essence of this mythical creature, even it is absolutely impossible for it to get. Where did this Lion King who rose from the local area get the essence of Swanee? Where did you get the blood of Swanee? The sky curtain ice spider couldn't help asking through telepathy. It was enough to surprise it that the Ice Lion King was promoted to the King realm in a short period of time, but it never expected that the Ice Lion King would evolve into Swanee. At this moment, the sky curtain ice spider felt that a layer of mist was shrouded in the body of the Lion King in front of it. I have the blood of Swanee myself, Shenmo answered calmly. He was telling the truth. Although this trace of blood is so thin that it can be ignored. Sky curtain ice spider? But after thinking about it, it seems that this is indeed the only possibility. In this case, it makes sense that the Ice Lion King unified the Great Snow Mountain in a very short time. Your life level has reached the level of the Intermediate King realm. How did you do it? The sky curtain ice spider asked, with a hint of curiosity in his eyes. Its life level is several levels higher than Shenmo's, so it naturally saw through Shenmo's current realm at a glance. You know, even if it is a descendant of a myth, in such an environment with poor spiritual energy, it will probably take several years or even longer to advance from a low-level king. The little lion in front of him actually advanced from a lord to an intermediate king in just a few days. This can no longer be explained by talent. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123 Hunting the Black Abyss Python. After awakening the bloodline, it will be a natural progression to the Intermediate King, Shenmo said calmly. Hearing this, the sky curtain ice spider nodded. It naturally did not believe Shenmo's nonsense. This little lion has a huge secret. Although it is curious, it does not want to pry. Anyway, it is not a bad thing for it that the little lion is promoted to the Intermediate King. The stronger the Ice Lion, the higher the success rate of the plan to revive the ancient Ice Phoenix. The only bad news is that the Ice Lion is unwilling to participate in the plan to revive the Ice Phoenix. The sky curtain ice spider was thinking about how to make the little lion in front of him willingly go to the inner world. Senior, can you open or close the boundary gate at any time? Seeing the sky curtain ice spider thinking, Shenmo had already guessed what it was thinking, so he took the initiative to ask. Yes. But each time it is opened or closed, it consumes a lot of spiritual power. The spiritual power of this world has not yet fully recovered. I can only open and close it twice at most, the sky curtain ice spider said frankly. That means you only have 2 chances. If I fail, there will only be one last chance, Shenmo said. Wait a little longer. It's not the right time yet. If I become stronger, it will be easier to help Bingfang rebuild her divine body, right? Okay, the sky curtain ice spider nodded. With its understanding of the Ice Lion King's character, it knew that it was absolutely impossible to convince the Ice Lion King to go to the other world. And what the Ice Lion King said made sense. Anyway, it has been waiting for such a long time, and it doesn't matter if it waits for decades or even hundreds of years. I don't know what kind of surprise this young Swanee will bring me next. Then I'll go back first. Shenmo was ready to leave. The sky curtain ice spider nodded, and then took out a large extraordinary crystal from behind. The dessert last time was good, I hope I can make more next time. Okay, looking at the back of Swanee going away, the sky curtain ice spider closed his eyes again. After Shenmo returned from the Ice Spider Mountain, he went straight to Frost Crane City. Yesterday, Wang Long got the latest news about the Black Abyss Python from Dongsha. Satellite observations showed that the python was only 1,400 kilometers away from the east coast of Africa. Shenmo has now advanced to the king level, or even the middle level of the king. He naturally planned to take the initiative to hunt the Black Abyss one-horned python. At Shenmo's current speed, hundreds of kilometers away were reached in the blink of an eye. Roar, as before, Shenmo roared towards the sea. Hearing the familiar roar, the siren leader and the Hydra giant snake quickly came. But when they saw the strange giant lion, the siren leader and the Hydra giant snake were stunned for a moment. The siren leader quickly reacted and realized that the handsome giant lion in front of him should be the original Ice Lion King. After the Hydra giant snake felt the king's breath emanating from Chenmo, it dived directly into the deep sea without saying a word. How can the land be more terrifying than the ocean? In addition to the giant lion, there is actually a king's level. And from the appearance, this is a king-level existence with the blood of mythical creatures. Seeing the Hydra giant snake turn around and run away, Chenmo was also a little speechless. It felt that this big guy was a little bit not very smart. So he directly opened the mental connection, and the voice sounded in the mind of the Hydra giant snake. Don't panic, it's me. The golden eyes of the Hydra giant snake were wide open, and it took a few seconds to react. Your Majesty, you have been promoted to the king. It swam out of the water and said in astonishment. And how did you become like this? It's just awakening blood, Your Majesty. I said you are a descendant of mythical creatures. Hearing this, the Hydra giant snake was inexplicably happy. It has always been brooding over its previous defeat to the Ice Lion King. After all, it is a descendant of mythical creatures, but it actually lost her newly rising extraordinary creature. If this kind of thing gets out, I'm afraid that the Hydra giant snake will be kicked out of the circle of mythical creatures. Now seeing Chenmo's true body revealed, it was instantly relieved. The Ice Lion King's current appearance shows that he is the top existence among the descendants of mythical creatures. It is normal for him to be defeated in his infancy. Losing to the top descendants of myths is not a loss. The Black Abyss Unicorn should be here soon. This time I plan to let you be the bait. Chenmo didn't waste any words and got straight to the point. Yesterday, Wang Long told him that the latest whereabouts of the Black Abyss Unicorn appeared in the sea 1,400 kilometers away from Shuang City. The whereabouts of the Black Abyss Unicorn are relatively easy to grasp, because it will pollute a large area of the surrounding sea into black water, and it is easy to capture its whereabouts after the satellite is restored. I can be the bait. But Your Majesty, are you confident that you can defeat it? The Hydra snake nodded. It's okay to let it be the bait, but if the Ice Lion King can't beat it, it would be embarrassing to die in vain. I'm already a mid-level king, Chenmo said calmly, and then released his own king's domain. The strong sense of oppression made the Hydra snake feel like he was suffocating. Hearing this, the golden eyes of the Hydra giant snake widened, full of disbelief. In 2 days, he broke through from the Lord level to the King middle level? This is too exaggerated? Even those top mythical creatures can't do it, right? Not to mention in an environment where the spiritual energy has not yet fully recovered. But the facts are in front of it, and it can only silently sigh that the Suani in front of it is too abnormal. Your Majesty, what do you need me to do? The Hydra giant snake said, and after realizing the terrifying strength of the Suani, his tone became much more respectful. We will take the initiative to find the Black Abyss Unicorn Python. You disguise yourself as an Avenger and lure it out. Leave the rest to me, Chenmo said. His voice was full of absolute confidence. Because of the steady characteristics of the Black Abyss Unicorn Python, if you go hunting directly, you may scare it away directly. After all, the deep sea is not his home ground. If the Black Abyss Unicorn Python dives into the deep sea, it will be difficult for Chenmo to track it. Okay, the Hydra snake nodded, with a strong excitement in its candle-like vertical pupils. It never thought that it would have the opportunity to take revenge so soon. Chenmo was about to leave with a Hydra snake. And the Siren leader Siren said respectfully, Your Majesty, these are the spiritual plants and magical medicines we have collected during this period. Behind her, a group of Siren girls were wearing skirts that transformed into water, each holding a marine spiritual plant in their hands. After submitting to the Ice Lion Kingdom, she asked the Gixu clan and other marine supernatural creatures to search for spiritual plants and magical medicines in the ocean. So few, Chenmo glanced at the spiritual plants and found that there were only more than 40 kinds. Among them, there was only one magical medicine. You have to know that there are hundreds of spiritual plants in the Great Snow Mountain alone. Chapter 124 Demonic Dragon. These are all spiritual plants found in the nearby sea area. The spiritual energy here is too poor, the leader of the sea monsters, Siren, explained. There are many spiritual plants and magical medicines near the secret realm of Gixu in the West Sea where we originally lived, but after being polluted by the black water, most of them died, and some of them underwent terrible mutations. Chenmo nodded, and then urged his spiritual power and released the Great Spiritual Rain technique. The spiritual power of the water system in a radius of several kilometers quickly gathered and turned into spiritual rain to pour on these marine spiritual plants. In an instant, these seaweed and seagrass spiritual plants began to grow and bloom visibly. In the blink of an eye, they were already mature. Chenmo took a look and found that 10 spiritual plants had mutated. The effects of 2 of the mutated spiritual plants were quite good. Blue leaf seaweed, mutation, has the effect of clearing heat and detoxifying. Sea god grass, mutation, can slightly increase swimming speed after taking it. For the spiritual plants that did not mutate, Chenmo collected seeds and continued to use the Great Spiritual Rain technique to catalyze them. Soon, these seeds grew and matured again at an astonishing speed. With the blessing of Shenan Lion, Chenmo can catalyze ordinary spiritual plants in an instant. In the end, Chenmo cultivated all the mutants of more than 40 kinds of spiritual plants. Most of the mutant spiritual plants had no effect, and some even produced bad mutations. Only 4 kinds of mutant spiritual plants had decent effects. In addition to the previous 2, there is another kind of seaweed that mutated in the direction of giantization, which can be used as a food source for many marine organisms. Another kind of mutant green algae has the effect of purifying water quality. Seeing this scene, the sea monster leader's eyes were dull. She thought it was particularly magical when she saw those frost sheep using the small spiritual rain technique to ripen plants. However, compared with a lion king in front of her, it was simply a small witch meeting a big witch. This method of making spiritual plants grow instantly is like the god of nature. Continue to collect spiritual plants. In addition, you can try to cultivate these 4 kinds of spiritual plants, Chenmo said. He planned to build a sea ranch, but unfortunately the frost sheep did not have the ability to catalyze water spiritual plants. He couldn't come to catalyze plants every day, so he could only rely on the ocean clan to plant and cultivate them themselves. Yes, sir, the leader of the sea monster bowed his head and said respectfully. Let's go. Chenmo growled at the hydra giant snake, and then a pair of ice crystal wings appeared behind him, and he flew quickly into the distance close to the sea surface. Half a day later, in the southern waters of the Indian Ocean, a giant lion with snow-white hair and a handsome posture ran wildly on the sea. The seawater within a radius of hundreds of meters around him instantly solidified into solid ice, which allowed Chenmo to run on the sea surface as if walking on flat ground. Although Chenmo now has the ability of spiritual power into wings and can transform into ice crystal wings, but the flying speed is far less than his running speed. After running wildly on the sea for about half a day, Chenmo slowly stopped. According to the navigation of the satellite phone, their current location is only about 100 kilometers away from the Black Abyss unicorn python. He transformed into ice crystal wings, flew into the air, and then looked into the distance. After advancing to the king, his vision has also greatly improved. Now he can see as far as 100 kilometers away. Through the clouds, Chenmo saw a black sea in the distant sea. The inky black seawater was still eroding the surroundings. Chenmo continued to move forward for dozens of kilometers, and then his eyes passed through the dark and cold black sea water. Chenmo saw many ferocious and violent black abyss creatures, which were madly killing other creatures in the ocean. Killing and death were born almost every second. This piece of black water was like a huge sure field. At a depth of 200 meters, Chenmo saw a giant snake with a body length of about 150 meters and black scales all over the body in the center of countless black abyss creatures. The giant snake rushed forward quickly while devouring the creatures around it crazily. Every second, countless black abyss creatures were devoured by it. The giant snake's 4 scarlet eyes emitted a strange red light in the deep sea, and there was a single horn on its head. This is not a giant snake, but a dragon, Black Abyss one-horned demonic dragon, level, low-level king, physique. 1460, agility. 1705, strength. 1530, soul. 1622, abilities, Black Death Light, Black Abyss Magic Ball, integrate into the Dark Abyss, Destruction Storm, Tsunami, Black Domain, Comprehensive Combat Power. 28,731 30,230, with a thought, the information of the demonic dragon appeared in Chenmo's eyes. It is worthy of being the offspring of a mythical creature. Just after being promoted to the initial stage of the king, it has a comprehensive combat power of 30,000, which is close to 1/3 of its own strength. Then, Chenmo looked around the surrounding sea again, and found a small island in the northwest direction of 70 kilometers. This small island is very suitable as the final battle site. Although he has been promoted to the king, in the thousands of meters deep sea, he is not absolutely sure that he can catch up with a Black Abyss one-horned demonic dragon, who is also in the king realm. If the Black Abyss one-horned demonic dragon escapes and dives into the deep sea, it will be difficult for Chenmo to kill it. He doesn't want the Black Abyss one-horned giant python to run away and leave a hidden danger for himself. Follow me, Chenmo growled at the Hydra giant snake, and then burst out at an extremely fast speed, continuing to run quickly in the direction of the Black Abyss one-horned demonic dragon. Roar, Lion King, run slower, I can't keep up. The Hydra giant snake was helpless and burst out at its fastest speed, which barely kept up with the Lion King's pace. When it was still 5 kilometers away from the Blackwater Sea, the Hydra giant snake roared angrily. Roar, little black snake, come and die, roar. Chenmo also roared an angry and provocative lion roar. At the same time, he controlled the breath he exuded to the peak of the Lord. At this moment, the Hydra giant snake played the role of avenger. Because in the eyes of the Black Abyss one-horned demonic flood dragon, the Hydra giant snake did not know that he had already advanced to the King realm. And it was still very likely that he would pull a helper at the peak of the Lord realm to seek revenge. Chenmo had already written the script, but it was unknown whether the next development would be in accordance with the script he wrote. Sure enough, the roar of the Hydra giant snake was heard. The black water in the distant sea suddenly exploded, and then a 100-meter-long one-horned black dragon broke out of the water and hovered in the air, staring at the Hydra giant snake and Chenmo with scarlet pupils. After turning into a dragon, it already had the ability to fly in the air. What made Chenmo laugh was that this Black Abyss one-horned demonic flood dragon actually controlled its own breath at the peak of the Lord realm. Sure enough, this Black Abyss one-horned demonic flood dragon was also an old shaman. He wanted to wait until he got close before killing him with one blow. Interesting, seeing the figure of the Hydra giant snake, the 4 blood-red pupils of the Black Abyss one-horned demonic flood dragon were filled with excitement and joy. I was just about to find you, but I didn't expect you to come to me by yourself. Chapter 125 Who is the hunter? Who is the prey? He also brought a nice lion at the peak of the Lord realm. Do you think you can kill me by finding a helper at the peak of the Lord realm? Unfortunately, I have already advanced to the King realm, the Black Abyss one-horned demon dragon thought to himself, and then he roared and quickly attacked the Hydra serpent. Roar, seeing this, the Hydra serpent dived into the sea without saying a word, and quickly swam to the island dozens of kilometers away. Chenmo naturally ran away with it. Seeing this scene, the Black Abyss one-horned demon dragon was a little confused. He thought that the Hydra serpent would definitely attack him head-on after finding helpers. At that time, he would suddenly burst out with the strength of the King realm and kill it instantly. Thinking of the unbelievable look of the enemy who was once evenly matched with him before his death, he felt it was wonderful. However, it did not expect that the Hydra serpent and the lion who had been provoking it before ran away directly when it just started chasing. Could it be that the lion has a special ability to see through my true realm? The Black Abyss one-horned demonic dragon did not think much. After it was promoted to the King realm, it was extremely inflated and felt that it was already the strongest existence in the world. It directly crushed it with its strength. So, it no longer hid its strength, its speed suddenly increased, and it made bursts of sonic booms and quickly chased after the Hydra giant snake, at the same time. Dongsha First Command. All the big men of the Dongsha military were sitting here. At this moment, on the big screen in the center of the command, there was a picture of the Black Abyss one-horned demonic dragon chasing the Hydra giant snake. For the Black Abyss one-horned giant python, a supernatural creature that poses a great threat to humans, Dongsha will monitor it in real time after the satellite is repaired. Then it captured the scene of the Hydra giant snake provoking and running away. I'm afraid that a mysterious giant snake is gone. Its growth rate is still 1 step slower than the Black Abyss demonic snake. A square-faced man in military uniform, standing upright, said with some emotion. He is a lieutenant general and also an awakener at the peak of the Lord realm. It's a pity that the mysterious giant snake has a certain amount of wisdom and is a target that can be won over. I didn't expect it to die here, a thin old man with gray hair sighed. Although these powerful extraordinary creatures are threats to humans. But compared to the existence of the Black Abyss demon snake, which is a destructive camp, they naturally hope that a mysterious giant snake can win. But the lion-like beast seems to have never been seen before. It is a bit like the Swanee in mythology. It's a pity that it will perish in the sea area with a mysterious giant snake. Teng Lao, there is indeed a powerful ice lion king on the African continent, which has unified the 2 regions of Tanzania and Kenya, A man with black framed glasses, bald head, and a slightly fat body spoke up. He is Wang Long's leader, Li Zheng, with a rank of lieutenant general. He is mainly responsible for the information and resource collection of the secret realm outside Dongsha after the recovery of spiritual energy. Perhaps the Ice Lion King is connected to this white-haired giant lion. After thinking about it, Li Zheng took out his satellite phone and sent the photo of Swanee on the screen to Wang Long, asking him if he knew him. That mysterious giant snake ran to a small island. At this time, the square-faced lieutenant general spoke. On the screen, the Hydra giant snake flew all the way to the center of the island, and finally landed on the island before the Black Abyss Unicorn Demon Dragon caught up. Is there something in the center of that island that can compete with a Black Abyss Demon Snake? Watching the Hydra giant snake and Swanee running straight towards the island, the old man called Tang Lao couldn't help but speculate. The route of the Hydra giant snake on the map and the island is a straight line, and it is obvious that it has a purpose to go to the island. Boom. At this moment, black and red runes suddenly lit up on the scales under the neck of the Black Abyss Unicorn Demon Dragon. Then a very destructive energy quickly gathered in its mouth. Boom. In an instant, a huge black-red beam of light with unparalleled destructive power and heat blasted straight at the Hydra giant snake. Black Death Ray, is it over? Seeing this scene, everyone in the command post couldn't help holding their breath. With this intensity of attack, the mysterious giant snake is probably in danger. 1 second before the Black Abyss Unicorn Demon Dragon released a Black Death Ray, the Hydra giant snake's heart jumped, and it felt a deadly danger coming. Looking back, what came into view was the Black Death Ray that seemed to destroy everything. My life is over. The Hydra giant snake closed its golden eyes, and only this thought remained in its mind. It wanted to dodge, but the speed of the Black Death Ray was too fast, and it was too late. The moment it realized it, it had already appeared in front of its eyes. It was a pity that it didn't see the Ice Lion King kill the Black Abyss Demon Snake with its own eyes. But its mission had been completed. At this moment, the Black Abyss Unicorn Demon Dragon had chased to the center of the island. It would take some time to escape back to the deep sea. I hope Swanee can kill this Black Abyss demonic snake. Using himself as bait, my death is not in vain. However, the next second, the Hydra giant snake was shocked to find that he seemed to be unharmed. When he opened his eyes, he found that a black deathlight that was full of destruction and was about to hide him had disappeared strangely. There was no ripple, as if it was just an illusion. Seeing this scene, not only the Hydra giant snake, but also the Black Abyss Unicorn Demonic Dragon that fired a black deathlight was confused. Where is such a big black deathlight? How could it suddenly disappear? The sea surface was calm, as if the black deathlight had never appeared. Only the lack of a large part of the Black Abyss energy in the body could prove that it really existed just now. Looking at the disappearing Black Death Light, Chenmo's face was calm. At the moment when the Black Death Ray was about to hit the Hydra giant snake, he used the new ability he mastered after advancing to the King Realm, Stop War. Within a certain area, all moves and abilities will lose their effects. This kind of rule-based ability is the most unreasonable. Chenmo had tested it before, and the ability he released could erase about 50% of the power. But he didn't expect that it would be so effective on the Black Abyss One-Horned Demon Dragon. Just like an eraser, it directly erased a Black Death Ray. The Black Abyss One-Horned Demon Dragon saw that his attack suddenly disappeared, although he didn't know what happened. But the crisis premonition in his natural cautious character made it make a decision instantly. Give up this pursuit. Get out of here quickly. However, the next second, the Black Abyss One-Horned Demon Dragon suddenly found that his body could not move, and it was pressed to the ground by some terrifying invisible force. Under this invisible force, the flesh and blood of the Black Abyss One-Horned Demon Dragon were shattered, and the black blood fell on the sand, corroding the surrounding land like super strong sulfuric acid. Soon, the Black Abyss One-Horned Demon Dragon revealed its white bones, and then cracks continued to appear on these hard dragon bones. What made him even more horrified was that he wanted to mobilize the Black Abyss energy in his body to resist, but he found that he could no longer control the Black Abyss energy. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.